We're live.
Welcome to the Iron Lord Podcast, episode number 17. And this is part of the E3 2017 Prediction Series, part 2. And we've got some special guests in the building. And this is a guest, a Lord that actually I've been watching for some time. He puts out great content and really like his views on a lot of things in gaming. Member of Switch Gang, so also appropriate that he's on the show as well. And this is the producer and the host of the Four Guys with Quarters podcast, and also a panelist for the TXR podcast, one of the premier Xbox podcasts out there. I would like to introduce my man, Lord Inferno is in the building. How are you doing, sir?
Cognito, what's going on, gentlemen? Thank you for making me an honorary Lord today. I'm excited to talk about the Switch and some Destiny 2. And if we get to that little Witcher thing that happened on Netflix, or it's about to happen, we get to it. But if we don't, I'm not too sad. So let's just do it.
What is this?
Nice.
Got fired early? Jesus Christ. Put the gun away. Even though your emoji got the gun, put the gun away, bro.
It was a slow news week.
And by the way, also got a shout out, Lord Inferno has one of the best Twitter avatars out there. I love your Twitter avatar. I was always meaning to shout you out. Where did you get that done, sir?
Man, graphic god Jay Dubs, Jay Williams, he gets it done. I mean, supported him on Patreon. He approached me. He said, "What do you want done?" I told him. He got it done the first try. I said, shout out to you, man. I gotta always shout out when people mention that avatar. So.
Nice. Definitely the most fire avatar on Twitter. Love it. Good to have you, sir. And of course, we have family back in the building. My man, the Nightfall soloist, the newly ready to talk Destiny 2. He's been chomping at the bit. The show we've been waiting to have him on. My man, Lord Ebontis. How are we doing, sir?
We are doing good. Head's about to explode with everything to take in this week, but it's been an interesting week so far, and looking forward to pretty much all to discuss. So I don't want to jump in too much, but always appreciate you guys, knighting me on the weeks I do get to show up for the Lord title. So deserving or not, but I appreciate the invite every time. So thank you guys.
Absolutely, anytime, you guys are lords in your realm and in this realm as well. And of course, we have the usual suspects at the round table, co-host with the co-host. My man, the non-aggro gamer himself, Lord Addict, is in the building. How we doing, sir?
What's up, you guys? Been just chilling, man. Been a slow week for games besides, Destiny. But, I feel like Destiny 2's announcement was enough because it's got the whole internet up and running.
The internet has been broken. Yes, that's good. It's good to hear. And of course, we have the newly minted Tech General, no longer Illuminati. My man, Lord Sovereign. How are we doing, sir?
Doing very well, sir. Doing very, very well, man. Just going nuts on the Switch, man. Like, honestly, every single week I feel there's a broken record. Knew this, knew that. But this week, Thumper, man. That Thumper has me.
We're going to talk. We'll talk.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Absolutely. We definitely got a lot to say about that. So it's good that you're out there in that eShop. I see you. It's good. Nice. And of course, my man, the excess gamer, the Lord, has nothing more than the premium experience. My man, beloved Lord King. How are we doing, sir?
We're doing fantastic. And to counter that point, it has been a great week in video games if you happen to have everything. So, and The Witcher. Yes, The Witcher. We will get to that. Thank you.
Nice. Real quick, I know we got a lot of topics, so we'll just run through it real brief before we start. Just want to get an idea of what the Lords are playing. So, Lord Inferno, what have you been playing this week? What's been on your gaming systems?
Man, I mean, I got PC, PS4, Switch, Xbox, of course. You know how it is. So I've been.
I'm gonna have to give you the new title.
I'm loving him.
I've been gaming a little bit of everything. I've been checking out that Quake Champions beta. That thing is hot, man. If you if you were into Quake back in the day, you will absolutely love Quake Champions coming off of PC. I don't think it's coming to console, but I'm sure we'll get some more details at Bethesda's E3 conference on that. For PlayStation, been playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Been playing NBA Playgrounds on PlayStation.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people rage at that game.
Yeah, that game is frustrating to say the least. So I'll have a review for that soon. The rebounding is extremely suspect.
I know what you mean.
On Xbox, been playing some Battlefield 1. Been playing some Flint Hook. Been playing some Forza Horizon DLC, of course.
Hot Wheels.
That Hot Wheels, dude. So good. And on Switch, I've been playing a little Puyo Tetris, playing some Wonder Boy. I got that on the Switch. I feel like it plays perfectly on the Switch, so I decided to get it on that. I'm playing some Blaster Master, and of course Mario Kart 8, which I think, even though Zelda's on there, I think Mario Kart 8 is the best thing on that console. Most exciting thing.
You may have some points there, man. The addiction level, it is so much fun.
It's
so
up there, man.
It's up there. These are some good choices, man. I like what you're playing, Lord Inferno. You got a lot of good things going.
Thank
Lord Ebontis, what have you been playing this week?
Well, after I said it, I saw NBA Playgrounds was $20, so I did decide to pick that one up just to see. And yeah, as you were saying, that whole rebound thing, man, that's pissing me off all sorts of a lot. So yeah, there's some jankiness there in a couple things, but still kind of fun to just kind of get a little pickup game as opposed to just something quite so simulation. So
I saw someone almost break his controller over that game.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but I mean that's been pretty fun. Of course, a little Destiny in there. Honestly, I've just been playing the media players on my computer, looking at videos over and over, kind of breaking everything down frame by frame in between work. So I've been playing a whole lot of play buttons on videos and stuff like that. But of course, a little Horizon, a little bit of that in there. Of course, man, I want to get back into that game. I just haven't had a chance to dive back in. Yeah, Destiny 2's had to be pretty sucked up this week, so. Yeah, I'll save my breath till we get to talk about that one.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. And Lord Addict, what have we been playing, sir?
Well, I haven't been playing consoles, that's for sure, because my Xbox is broken.
Yeah, Xbox still down. What's the ETA on the return? What's going on with that?
They just received it today.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
You just get it back before E3?
No, I highly doubt I will. But well, since I lost my Xbox, you know, I was playing Darksiders, but I kind of had to take a step back on that. And what sucks is by the time I get my console back, I might not even have the drive to play Darksiders anymore. But, my cousin's store, he got me back into RuneScape somehow.
Okay.
So I've been playing that.
Cool. Any Switch touching, or we kind of?
I played Mario Kart for a little bit yesterday, but where I played so much of it on the Wii U, I just can't keep myself on it for longer than 30 or 40 minutes.
I got you. That's cool. And Lord Sovereign, what have you been playing?
Let me see. I've been like I said before, a lot of Switch, man. That thumper has me going, man. Like it's
isn't it freaky? Is it like
it's weird? It's like a horror rhythm game, and it's just like it gets tenser and tenser as it goes along. And it doesn't really tell you a lot about how to navigate it. So it's a lot of trial and error. And it just, but again, when you get in that zone, and your emotions start being perfectly in tune with the music, I mean, it's like this feeling that you can't really describe. Like you're in this zone, and like it's beautiful, and it runs beautifully on the Switch. I feel my lords on the NBA Playgrounds. I've been playing, and like when it comes to the tournaments, as you get higher and higher in the tournaments, they get cheaper and cheaper. So it's a grind. It's definitely a grind. Let me see. And then on PS Pro, I played a little bit of Horizon, trying to get back to that. And then yesterday, as a severely lapsed Destiny player, I got on the Xbox and tried to play a little Destiny for a few hours yesterday. So.
Wait a minute.
I was on there. You didn't see me?
I did not see you. Why did I get the memo? Sovereign coming out of the Illuminati playing a multiplayer social game?
To be fair, I was playing by myself. So.
Exactly.
Well, that's why you ain't going to be playing it very long.
Thank God for matchmaking for some people.
Yeah, tell me about it. But vanilla Destiny right now, you know, I can jump in and I can, you know, I can get to a level 40 and I can play certain things by myself because you guys have already played all that stuff. So, you know, it's not that bad.
No doubt, no doubt. And Lord King, what have we been playing this week?
Well, I've been touching a little bit of everything. I send my mini to go get hacked and jailbroken to put the 600 games on.
You talk about for that's right, the NES mini. That's right.
Yes. I seen you guys playing Thumper. I'm gonna do still a little wait see because I wasn't gonna pick up the Playgrounds. Not so good, but my Pro has been getting a lot of love this week. The Zero Horizon Dawn.
Okay.
I went in. I didn't want to go in with the bias of playing the Zelda so much, and when you get to the dawn, you're like, oh, I can't climb every wall. Okay, you can't climb every wall in every game anyway.
True.
Is it truly open world? Still stupid little questions that you have. I started appreciating the game for what the game was. The 4K resolution, it was very beautifully done. The artistic views of the game is fantastic. Controllers are fantastic. So I'm really trying to immerse myself in the game. And then, the Fall Point. I can't say this enough. This is their killer app, and I really wish they would push it a little bit further. But I don't think they push the VR because they don't have the units to put out. I really don't think so.
It's a shame. I'm hearing good things. I also see shout out to Lord Bari. I see him out there promoting it heavy and rocking it, and I'm hearing good things about it. So from a VR standpoint.
Also, please, everybody, pick up Battle Islands. It's a free-to-play game on your Xbox.
Yeah, I see you on that a lot.
I play it religiously. Okay, it's a religious little drug that I have.
I think it's safe to say he might play that more than he plays anything else. But every time I get on, he's playing that.
That's all I see you on. Like a lot of times when I look at my friend list, that's what you're rocking. Like,
it is the most addictive little game going. It's the fact that you can go and attack somebody's island when they're not looking, steal all their money, just do something evil to their island, steal their money. Like you can go in. And you can send one guy in just to do something terrible to just mess with somebody, and they come back and it's like you have camouflage. It is the most immersive, free to play, sneaky. Take all your money, destroy your island, fuck up your day game. Sorry.
It's all good. I gotta check it out. Free to play, you got me. You sold me at that level, right?
Yeah,
right there.
Free to play, man. It doesn't cost you a thing, baby. Jump inside and grab it.
Lord Cognito here. For me, it's been kind of similar to what the rest of the Lord's been playing. I downloaded Thumper. My thoughts exactly with Lord Sovereign. That thing is just trippy. I mean, that thing has you clenching the switch tight, but it's just so well done. Like I love everything about it. I wouldn't even I heard it was a PSVR game, right, Locating? So I can't even imagine being isolated with a VR headset. I wouldn't want any parts of that because that game had me tripping in my house with just headphones by itself. But
on the VR, that's probably I've played it probably like 3 or 4 times at PAX or E3 or whatever, and I would say that on the PSVR, it's definitely top 5 experience on there right now. The Thumper game, and it actually was up for Game of the Year awards at the Video Game Awards for its VR presence. So
that's what I heard.
It was in discussion for Giant Bomb. That it definitely had a big discussion about that being Game of the Year. They loved it so much on VR.
Yeah, man, it's definitely meant for it. Like I can't even it's just wow. It's just such a trippy experience, and I just want to know what the developers were thinking when they created this game. But other than that, I touched Phantom Dust. I actually did the download. Yeah, I mean it was free, so
Yeah, that's true.
I love Phil, but I don't know what the big infatuation is with it. But hey, I did touch it. And,
I like the game for what it is, but it's nothing to brag about, by any means. It's not even really worth a YouTube video.
Shout out to Lord Inferno because I was watching 4 Guys with Quarters, and I think you guys nailed it with that your assessment of it.
Man, that game was so bad that I forgot when you just asked me what I was playing. I forgot I even played it. I'm trying to erase it from my memory. I really don't block that shit because honestly, terrible.
It's just nothing for the Xbox community to be bragging about as an exclusive.
Yeah, I think
I think the big issue
would have something to say about that because he's a big fan.
I think the big issue with that game isn't even necessarily that it exists. It's the fact that they started out with a remake, then they cut it down to a re-release, and it's the fact that the last time we got an exclusive was Halo Wars 2. So.
Yeah, I totally feel you what the Lords are saying on that. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there is some foundation there, but, I don't know if it's going to be enough to generate interest for a sequel. But that's been pretty much it for me this week. But we're going to jump right into it. We got a big show going on. So, obviously, this is part 2 of the E3 2017 prediction series, and Nintendo is up to bat. So it was fitting that we had our man Lord Inferno in, because he's a Switch gang, and a lot of us actually everyone here at the round table is a Switch gang. But wanted to start off with this week. I wanted to start off with if anyone first caught any of the Nintendo Direct. Then also want to jump right into E3 predictions. What do we think Nintendo's going to do? Obviously, they have a lot of tremendous momentum right now. The sales, NPD. I mean, this train is rolling. So I want to start off with Lord Inferno, our guest. And what do you think about Nintendo at E3? Your predictions, and also, did you get a chance to watch the Direct this week? I believe with ARMS and Splatoon 2.
I caught some of the ARM stuff. The ARM stuff, I got to be honest with you. After seeing the Direct, I'm a little bit more down on ARMS than I was before. Because
I think ARMS is the game that is one of the only games I've ever seen to have zero hype for it. And then the more they keep showing, the more people are like, you know what, I could get down on this game.
A little bit good in front of good.
Yeah, I mean, trust me. When I saw it at PAX this year, even before PAX at the initial reveal before the release of the thing. I thought it was going to be exceptional. I thought that if they kept, a few things under wraps about, game modes, maybe a story mode that was more substantial. I thought maybe that it would be a full-fledged $60 experience. The more I see it, though, that's the only part of the Direct that I caught. I would say that I'm a little hesitant now for 60, but hopefully they release some more stuff to get me a little more excited on it. But about E3, what I expect, I think the showstopper moment, I think a lot of people here would agree, probably would be another Metroid game. And I don't even.
Yeah, let's go. Abatis is smiling right now.
Yeah. We're all smiling.
That's all we want.
And the more I think about it, the more I think I could see something like a Metroid game that you switch between side-scrolling and first-person. I think that would be really cool. Obviously, I have no inside knowledge whatsoever, but I keep thinking, some games have been able to do that successfully, where you switch between the third and the first-person mode. I can just imagine playing like Super Metroid in ultra-high graphics, ultra-high 60 frames per second fidelity, and there'd be sections where you could switch in first-person mode. Maybe they can throw some motion controls in there, and then switch right back to the third person, to the side scrolling that we all loved when we were kids, and capture that audience again. I think Metroid would be the show-stopping moment. But yeah, other than that, I think they'll probably show another Donkey Kong Country kind of game. I think they'll talk more in depth about the online service. Maybe they've had second thoughts about charging for a phone app. Maybe not. Maybe we'll get a price that is extremely reasonable, like $30 a year, not $60 a year. Who knows?
Yeah, they need to take that 60, go somewhere else with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only way.
I think what they have now, 30 might even be pushing it.
Well, that's the thing, Addict. That's the thing. I think that we don't really know what's going to be included in that. I mean, they could have some killer features that we don't even know, that can make matchmaking easier, can make group forming easier. And yeah, it's on a mobile app. Yeah, that sucks. But there could be some compelling features that no one has even thought of at this point. And then when we see it, we're like, okay, well, that makes sense to be on a mobile app.
Oh, I mean, you can ask the other lords. I've been very okay with them making it on a phone app, because we've never seen that. It could be so innovative that other people adapt to that.
I don't want nobody adapting
Xbox. Well, here's the thing. Like,
I don't use my phone to play video games.
It's not even. It's using your phone to like party and chat. Like, I get that. the competition, they have a more, centric one that's on their consoles. But I'm not saying that, Xbox is gonna like cancel the
if that was an add-on, then fine. If it was okay, you could use this as well. That's good.
But you don't want central to the.
No, I do not want to use a companion, my phone as a companion to my console.
You don't want to contribute your bill to the betterment.
No, it's not that. It's the computing power. They're slick. They know that their system is not as strong. So what we're gonna do is use your powerful phone CPU, and we're gonna use that to dedicate this to offload that we have nothing to worry about on this side at all. So it's just deferring again. Don't defer. You should have built that inside your system. No, I don't think that is a good idea at all. But that's just my opinion. I will not be participating in that. I will be the mute player in that whole situation.
Lord Inferno, I want to get it back to you real quick. As far as the I know you was talking about that rest for the arms. I also want to stand corrected because Lord Rule is in the chat. He actually made a good point. I stand corrected. It is not an official E3 press conference from Nintendo. It is obviously a direct, right? They're showing that. So
yes. So we talked about that a little bit on Four Guys this week on Thursday about Nintendo and whether or not that's a big mistake because, at first you saw people pulling out of E3. You saw Activision, EA, they did their own things, but at least EA has a conference to get the hype going. At least, people like Devolver Digital now, they're going to have their own E3 conference. I don't think they're going to be in E3. I think they're going to do the same thing they always do, that little, cookout trailer kind of thing they have across the street. But they rented somewhere. They're going to have
trailer across the street.
That's what it is. That's what it is, dude. That's what it is.
It's better than Ubisoft's. That's better. That's for sure.
Horrible.
So like in my opinion, I think that it's a mistake for them not to have a conference because, like you said at the beginning, at the onset of this topic, they have the lead in terms of hype. They have the NPD numbers. They're selling like hotcakes. You can't find them anywhere. Why not continue that hype by having live people on stage, having live people from third parties endorsing your product, someone from EA, somebody from Ubisoft, these people on stage endorsing it. Instead, they're going to have the dull, like I want to watch an hour and 30-minute video. That's my biggest gripe about Nintendo Direct. Live people get me hyped. Videos don't necessarily get me hyped.
I hear you. That's a good point because they actually did their reveal that way, right? And it got a lot of flack, because, we all know culturally sometimes it's, some things came off a little wacky, as far as, and well, first of all, God bless the translator. Remember the Fiasco? At the Nintendo reveal. Oh my Lord. Like I think it was when he got to Suda and he was describing one of his games. And I believe the translator could not keep up what was going on. So it was just like a mess. But I hear what you're saying about like a static video and stuff like that. That sometimes that does lose that effect. So I hear you on that. But Lord Ibantis, want to get your feel on Nintendo as well?
Oh man, well you stole my thunder with my big mic drop, but yeah. I'm honestly really curious to see what they do with Mario, though. I mean, Mario Odyssey, I've had more fun with a lot of Mario games than I ever thought I would over the years. Between Mario 64, like diving into that when I was a kid, just getting me hooked. Mario Brothers 3, like Super Mario Brothers 3 is still one of the greatest games I've ever played.
Oh,
yeah.
And that's what a lot of people, they keep saying, oh, another Mario game. Look, like I'll be the first to tell you, Nintendo uses that Mario IP a lot. But this isn't your average Mario game. There's not been a whole lot of 3D Marios out there.
Nope. So this is
I think like
one.
what? This is the fourth one?
You had 64. You had Galaxy. Sunshine?
Galaxy 2.
Galaxy 2.
Yeah, Galaxy 2.
There was one for the Wii U, but people tell me they don't count it. I've never played
it. That game for the Wii U is fantastic.
3D World is one of. I was gonna say that up there with just any of the rest because honestly, the perspective maybe like 2.5D.
Yes, that's fantastic.
That was a blast. I played.
You can play 4 people at the same time. I mean, I'm really tired of people bagging on the Wii U. It was a good system. It's just marketed wrong.
It wasn't even like the reason the Wii U failed is because of you know, bad messaging and because Nintendo gave up on it so fast.
And what happened to the Xbox too? We had bad messaging, but we changed directions. We fired people, and we put, you know, Phil in space, and Phil is out there doing his thing, baby. That's right. Put Phil out there and shine like the sun, baby. Go ahead, Phil.
Now, Lodi Bontes, did you get a chance to catch the Nintendo Direct this week in reference to Splatoon 2 and ARMS?
I was like, looked over some of the ARMS stuff. I mean, I didn't see too much on Splatoon. I didn't get into Splatoon as much. Just never kind of got around to it. But ARMS kind of has me intrigued a little bit. But as you guys were saying, when it comes to the price point, it's kind of one of those things on some of the Nintendo games. I feel like they could have more success if the price point wasn't the full $60 game. I mean, some of the games, like 1-2 Switch, if it was, I don't know,
$3.99
a pack-in?
A pack-in, yes. But even if it wasn't the full like 50, if it was like 20 or 30, I feel like they would just sell them by the truckload, even digitally, just so people could have it as that party game, just to have it because it would be cheaper as opposed to, it's not that worth it. I've tried it. Like, if somebody owns a Switch, they should probably be able to get that one pretty cheap. I mean, why not?
Anchorman said $3.50 is all he'll pay for it. You don't even have to Switch, Anchorman.
They go ahead on that right now.
He's waiting for Fallout. He's waiting for Fallout.
I can agree, though. I really, he's waiting for Fallout.
Savages.
Maybe Fallout will make it look better, Anchorman.
Oh, Fallout 1. He's waiting for Fallout 1.
Y'all savage. Moving on. Go ahead.
No, but ARMS is interesting. Just like the more you kind of watch it, as you guys were saying, it wasn't one that I had a whole lot of thoughts really about. The more you look into it, I was like, this could be fun if you find the right group to play it with. I mean,
it was fun when I thought it was like $30, but the more I saw it, when I saw that price tag, like don't get me wrong, it's like Lord Cognito said, like Nintendo games, but it's like if you compare Splatoon to like a first-person shooter, or even third-person that it is, it's like, can it compare with the same price tag as something like Destiny 2, Call of Duty?
Yeah, I mean, those are just on different levels, and unfortunately, Nintendo just has their pieces. But I mean, Splatoon was insanely popular, so.
Oh yeah, definitely. My everyone I've talked to, they said it's good. It's a really good game.
Yeah, it's like they love it. So, but I mean, ARMS could be one of those things where it just kind of hides and slowly builds, and the more people that hear about it, it's like one of those, as you said, if they listen to like Giant Bomb, I'll listen to their podcast and some other ones too, and it's just like. It's those ones when those people really get their hands on it and they dig in and they've got all the experience out there of, you know, touching so many different places. When they get into actually, you know, get their hands on ARMS, if this has got that little perfect Nintendo touch on it, just like so many other things do, it could be cool. So it's just waiting to see it if it has the Nintendo touch. Just like Mario Kart, just like Mario, it's like the platformers, the racers. It's like just the Nintendo magic. Will it be there? And that's usually what makes or breaks so much of their stuff.
All right, so here. What was you going to say?
Real quick, I just went before I let the Bontes go because I just want to get. I know Inferno stole his thunder a little bit with the Metroid as a mic drop moment for them. What else would you be excited for? I know you said Mario too, but anything you feel like would just put the hammer down for Nintendo as well at this direct video.
Pokemon on my Switch. That's all I want.
Woo,
that'd be the other one. Pokemon on my Switch. Like, you give me, like, there you go, throwback to Red and Blue, or if the current ones are Sun and Moon, if you do Stars, whatever it is, give me a new Pokemon where I can just like chill and hang out and do that and just have my little like Pokemon to go, but in new high def. Yep, I'll get that one. So I mean, that's my
like
here's a question though.
It would you want to talk about a conversion rate for Zelda? It'd be 100% on Pokemon.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah. Oh yeah. Do you think you guys they would pull that, they can pull that gun out at E3, or would you think it's premature? You think they might save that for later?
I mean, I guess they've got Splatoon, they've got ARMS, but those are basically coming relatively soon. Both of them. Your only big thing is the fall, and that's Mario. And while Mario's big, you could at least build the hype for it. So if you're like, hey, if you want, get your Switch now, you'll have Mario, you'll have a few things. Maybe in the spring, say they do that March release for Pokemon, have that big sell before their financials go out, something like that, and then kick off the spring and summer with Pokemon so people can have it with them wherever they go. So I don't know, but it'd be interesting to at least tease it. At least just the promotion that it's out there would plant a seed, I think, pretty well.
I think this is one of those very few scenarios where gamers are like, I don't want to know a game that's coming out 3 or 4 years. And one of the biggest speculation to the Switch is like, are they going to drop support like they did on the Wii U? So like, this is one of the only times that I think it's okay to come out there and be like, this is what's coming out the year after next.
hear you.
Yeah.
Shout out to my sister in the chat. So, Lord King, I know you switch ganging it.
Oh yes,
What-
of course.
What is going on with those predictions? What do you need from Nintendo right now? What do you need?
Well, like everybody said, we all want Metroid. I don't care what anybody says. Anybody picked up that system, we already know Mario's coming. We already have Zelda, which is a boon because usually we wait once we get a system for Zelda for 3 years, with each system. So the fact that we got it the first day, that's a boon for us. That's like, oh, well, now we playing with house money because we knew we was getting Mario. So and then Mario Kart came out, was fantastic. So yes, everybody's looking for that Metroid. My thing would be Castlevania, 2D Castlevania, like a Super NES remake with better graphics.
So no virtual console. You want a true remaster? That's what you want?
Yeah, I want a true remaster like they did Wonder Boy. Yeah, so do it like that, with a nice flair to it, some little cartoon graphics like they're doing. Because the Bomberman was fun that I got. So I really think that Nintendo can just tap into their old IPs that they had before. I mean, I think they still own the rights to that Castlevania that Konami put out because it wasn't on anybody else's system. So remake that game, put that game out, or give me the new ActRaiser.
Ooh,
yeah,
crazy. You digging in the crates? You
baby.
going there? You going
Listen,
there now?
Y'all made me dig in the crates.
Digging in the crate in the basement.
Ooh, okay, I see that. Lord, son, you've been quiet there. What's going on with you and your Nintendo predictions? And also, I want your feedback on. I know me and you've had some offline discussions in reference to that ARMS and Nintendo Direct. So where are we at with things with Nintendo?
Yeah, like in terms of the Direct, like I told you earlier, it kind of changed my view on the ARMS and the Splatoon. ARMS was something that I really wasn't paying much attention to. And then after this Direct, like just to see that all the modes that are in it, and it's gonna be they're giving people more than just the head-to-head fighting. Obviously the fighting seems like it's a little more in depth also than what it initially appeared to be. So that's interesting. Again, to me, it showed me enough to at least warrant a look. So I'm definitely, when the test fire goes on in the next couple of weeks, I'll definitely give it my final kind of yes or no, whether I'm purchasing day one. But again, it just seems it has that Nintendo polish that they're known for, and they always find a way to make their things fun. And from what I've heard so far, it's the first game that really makes use of the rumble and the motion in a way, particularly on the Switch, where it feels like it's warranted and it feels good. It feels like it's responsive. So if they're really able to kind of exploit that, I think they kind of have a hit on their hands. As long as they give people enough modes to keep them engaged, I think it's going to be a big deal. The only thing that worries me is that why release it on the Friday after E3?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I felt the same way. It's kind of weird. Right? Don't you feel like maybe it kills a little momentum?
It does, because everybody's coming back from E3. The press is coming back from E3 tired, and they have to worry. Obviously, not everybody from all these outlets is going to E3. They'll have people in the offices playing the stuff and trying to get reviews out. But still, it's just one of those things. Like maybe give it another week removed from E3, so people are back, into the normal routines and relaxed and kind of are able to give it the time that it deserves. So that worries me a little bit because it almost seems like they're not 100% confident in it. But again, it just might be a foolish decision on their part in terms of that. But I think the game seems like it's going to be good enough at least to kind of open some eyes.
Okay.
And in terms of Splatoon was another one that I really wasn't invested in on the Wii U. I saw the draw to it. I saw what people liked about it, the fact that it was a different take on a third person or FPS. But for me, I needed a story mode. I needed something substantial, and that's what they showed me in this Direct. Like for me, again, I may not be that invested in the multiplayer aspect of it, but what I saw of the single player was cool enough, and I hope there's enough of it to warrant the purchase. But for me, it kind of once again, it's something where I'll see how it pans out when it releases and decide whether to purchase it or not. But again, the single player stuff had me intrigued. So yeah, they're honestly. So that said, when it comes to E3, they need to kind of keep the gravy train rolling. I mean, they really, they're going in on a high, on a very positive note. This past week, they just announced that I think the Friday, the 15th or something like that, they're releasing the Azuri Gunbolt that was on the 3DS, which is kind of like a Mega Man X type game. So we're actually getting that on the 15th. So we'll be able to play it on the plane trip back home. This is like a Mega Man X type game that had a decent amount of success on the 3DS. They're actually putting in Beck from Mighty Number 9. So I guess they're trying to salvage that character by putting him in a decent game. So this is just stuff like this, and this is just stuff that they sort of announced matter of factly. So this is the type of stuff that's exciting from them. Like every week you're gonna get something new. You know, we didn't know about a Thumper maybe till about a week or two before it came out. So this is the type of stuff that keeps the conversation interesting with them. And so again, going into E3, that's the type of cadence that I think they need to keep up. In terms of releases and stuff like that, my thing, obviously, Virtual Console. Virtual Console in some way, shape, or form needs to be there. And if we remember, like Virtual Console at its high was probably on the Wii. And then you're talking about not only Nintendo systems, you have the NES, SNES, and N64. But Virtual Console on the Wii also had Genesis, also had TurboGrafx. Like this is their opportunity to be the one-stop shop for all of this retro stuff if they get it right. Not to say they'd have all of that on launch, but it could be it would be great if they would have a substantial amount of that stuff on launch. Obviously, their online stuff. Let's see what they do with it. Yeah, I think they need to really consider charging a very low amount for this. I think they can get away with charging a lot. Hopefully they've reconsidered what they want to give us in that package. That whole thing about getting 1 or 2 NES or SNES games a month with online functionality, and then them taking it
away after the month.
Yeah, that's just not consumer friendly. You guys are in too much of a high right now to really throw that foolishness at consumers. So hopefully they've rethought that stuff. Again, I'm gonna echo what everyone else says. We want Metroid. I want Metroid.
We need that.
Even if they don't give us,
that'll be a mic drop.
Yeah, give me an announcement.
I just want to throw this in on your point as well, and also I want to get Lord Inferno's input on this as well, Ibantes. I don't know if the Lords have heard this rumor going around. Shout out to Lord Ruler in the chat also who brought it up about this COD for the Switch to be announced by Activision. Have you guys heard this?
Yeah, I've heard it a few times.
Okay. What do we feel about this? If that is the case, I mean, right now there's a lot of tea leaves being circulated, as far as the team. I guess they posted a picture and there was some speculation there, and there is a rumor that it could be in existence, and Activision might throw a bone, or maybe even a separate version. Obviously, we don't know if it's capable of handling, what's coming out right now for PS4 and Xbox One. But what do you think, just in the theory in general, if they were to snag a COD for E3?
Well, if backwards compatibility is any indicator, we saw Black Ops 2 come out and hit sales numbers that they haven't hit obviously in a very long time, and I heard that it cracked NPD marks for Black Ops 2. So if that's any indication, then they can do like what you just said, Cug. They can release completely different version or release a full version of something like Black Ops 2 on the Switch, or World at War on the Switch, or something like that, and they could fetch some numbers. I think it doesn't have to be World War II. It doesn't have to hit the same visuals, the same experience as the console versions. They know it's not going to. People who have these systems know it's not going to. So if they get something similar to what people are still playing with backwards compatible titles like Black Ops 2, if they can hit an experience similar to that, I think then they should do it, and I think it's almost a given that it will happen. So I believe these rumors, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a go. What do you think, Lord King and Lord Attic? I'm curious about your opinion.
I think that it'd be fantastic for them because they have been out of that space for such a long time that that space is definitely needed for a couple of their customers. Not saying that all the customers that buy Nintendo products is looking for a Call of Duty experience. I think those people are looking for something other than the norm, but just to cater to a few of us who will actually probably purchase it. Maybe if it's just zombies, and you have that, condensed version of, Nintendo's Call of Duty Zombies. People would purchase just for that zombies because a lot of people don't even play the campaign. They play the multiplayer and they look for the zombies. So
shout out to Lady Bella from RGM. That's her thing. She always tries to get me going with that. With zombies all the time. I mean, it is a hardcore cult following for zombies.
Yes,
definitely.
So I think if they go in that direction and they try to change the flow of the water from going to the left to the right in their own lane to stay away from the comparisons. Don't let Digital Foundries get a hold of you, bro. Don't let them do that, because this is not a good look for you. You got Scorpio out there, you got that Pro. Bro, just stay in your own lane in the corner and do your little 60 frames per second doing your thing over there, and just don't allow them to do the direct comparisons between games because it's not going to be beneficial for Nintendo.
Yeah,
that's
It's not. Lord Attic, you've been a little quiet here. What have you been thinking in reference to Nintendo? What they got cooking, and what you're excited for? And also, I'm curious about your opinion about the ARMS in Splatoon 2. I never get a chance to talk about
I guess we'll talk about Splatoon and ARMS. I still think I'm gonna pass on Splatoon.
Okay.
Like I'm not saying that Splatoon is a bad game or anything, because I played it. It seemed fun, but Splatoon just didn't seem like something that I would play long term.
I see.
So ARMS, I was like hell no at first, but now I'm like every time I see when you told me about the direct, I was like, maybe I shouldn't watch this. It's like every time I watch something about this game, I'm like, it's getting more and more interesting, and so I'll probably pick up ARMS. About the whole Call of Duty thing, I do think it's coming. I think Activision, I do think they'll try. And my biggest thing is, like Lord King says, is just I feel like this might hurt them more than it will help them, because I feel like they're going to get that, they're going to drop the Call of Duty out, and then Digital Foundry, and then we're going to get on it. And before you know it, there's hundreds and hundreds of articles on the internet saying that they can't run Call of Duty. What else does you think it can't run? And I'm just like, look, I'm all about putting more product on the Switch, but make sure that you put it on there and it's at least a decent version. Don't downgrade it so much that it's like 10. I wouldn't say 10%. That's exaggerating a little bit. It's like 60% of the console game, because they downgraded. They took out modes, and I'm like, do not be a Call of Duty that went from the 360 to the Xbox One and from the PS3 to the PS4, because it will hurt you. You won't get the sales back, chances are, and it will hurt you in the public eye more than it will help you.
Yep. Fair enough. No, I hear you.
About E3,
I'm talking to you.
To be completely honest with you, I know I'm going to get bitched at for this statement.
Let's go. This with the round table show. Let's go.
I have my doubts with Nintendo. I feel like them not having a press conference not necessarily shows they don't have nothing to show, because they're doing these directs before E3, so I feel like they do have something. They wouldn't do these directs. I mean, let's be honest, 3 weeks before E3.
Let's be honest. ARMS could have been on stage for them, right?
Yeah, they could have They could have put this in the direct at E3. So right there shows that they're like, we want people to know what ARMS and Splatoon is, so we don't have to show that at E3. Right. So I do think we're going to see a Chronicle. I do think that the first one will be re-released. I don't. People say Super Smash Brothers. I doubt it. I don't think they want Super Smash Brothers competing with ARMS.
That would be huge.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they got to hold back. Yeah, they got to hold back.
I see that coming out beginning of next year. Middle-ish, maybe March-ish. I see. Maybe a Mario Party being announced. I see this year. I see maybe. We'll see maybe a Metroid. That's the best case scenario. And if it isn't, you know, I see they bringing a lot of Wii U ports, and that's not a bad thing because there was a lot of good Wii U games that a lot of people didn't get to play.
Yep.
So, you know, I see maybe one good title that they show that, like, you know, is that drop the mic, we walk off the stage moment. And then I see a, like, you know, little browse of you know, these Wii U titles. And then people got to understand, like, do not go into this direct with the intentions and the thought process that you're about to see some hot shit, because you'll see good games, but the people don't realize about Nintendo is they do these directs. They could drop them at any time. They could drop a direct a week later.
Right. The only advantage, I see where you're going with that, Lord Attic, is that as much as I was upset that they didn't have a presence as far as a formal conference, one thing with these directs, it seems like they can control the message. You know what I mean? Like,
that's why they do it.
Exactly. And actually, I actually look forward to their little directs
you
now.
Can't PR weird. Live speech.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like you really control the message and how, you know, you want to do things. So at first I'm like, this is Grandpa Nintendo beating to their own drum foolishness. But as I've starting to see this, you know, it's to me it's really well done. So yeah,
I do think that Odyssey is going to push more units than Zelda.
Odyssey. You mean
Mario Odyssey?
Oh, Mario.
Yeah, and I can't. Let me ask you guys a question. Like, I know they won't do this, but I think the best case scenario to really push out Switch units is to bundle Zelda and then have people pick up Mario. Because I feel like if you bundle Zelda in the holidays of this year, people will go out there for that bundled Zelda, and then they'll pick up Mario right beside it.
They're not bundling.
I mean, Zelda. I don't know. That's curious. That's an interesting point. What do you feel? What are you feeling, Lord Inferno?
Yeah, I mean, I could see them bundling. I could also see them, you know, just sticking to their ways and knowing people are going to buy it. I think the only reason I could see them bundling is that I think that they've already sold so many. I think the people who already have a Switch going into the holidays are not going to buy Zelda. I think they already have it. So that's the only reason I could see them bundling. The reason I couldn't see them bundling is because everybody buying a Switch at holidays is absolutely going to buy Zelda. No question about it.
You know, it would be a different story too if the Switch wasn't hard to get, because there's still a lot of people out there that want to get their hands on a Switch but can't.
Yeah, definitely. But then again, you see that Switch's install base for Zelda is higher than their install base of the actual console, which means
I think that's the only time in history that's ever going to happen. Only absolutely. Nintendo gets stuff like that done. Only Nintendo. You'll never see a Halo outsell the console.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I think the bundling. I think to that point specifically, I think that bundling would sell themselves short, because I still.
We lost Inferno for a minute.
I mean, it's not like I was saying that, you know, they have to do
it. Just having the Switches on the shelves.
Oh, there he is.
Incentivizes it too. I think having them present, you know.
I hear you. I mean, yeah, you were saying, Lord Attic?
It's just like, I'm not saying that they're going to do it, you know, 100%, but I feel like that would be the best case scenario to really push out units in the holiday.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they got a lot of ways to go with that, but I want to jump in real quick.
But Nintendo is not really known for their bundles, so.
I know, which is right. But yeah, I mean, Lord's knocked it out the park. I mean, they're in the driver's seat the way I look at them coming into E3. And like I said, they can control this message. I do think because they showed, Splatoon and ARMS already, that they've got something cooking as far as a splash is concerned. As far as my impressions of ARMS, I'm kind of like with Lord Soft exactly. And actually Lord Attic, because it's like, I'll be honest, when I first saw ARMS in the very beginning, I'm like, motion controls, this seems gimmicky, I don't know. And then my main actually concern was, even though like the characters kind of have like an Overwatch kind of feel, and I like the personalities, like everything seems kind of unique. My thing is there going to be enough content to keep me playing said game, right? If it's just me versus my friend, I'm like, it wasn't going to do it. And then as I watched the direct, and I'm like, yeah, they got basketball and volleyball, and then but the mode that got me was like the 2-on-2.
They had a different basketball. You pick up the other person and throw them.
You ain't slam dunking me into no thing. We gonna have problems. I'm in my feelings if you slam dunk me.
I think that's the only side basketball game I've ever seen do that.
Yeah, that is like out of control. But like I saw the modes, and then the one that got me is they're doing 4-player. Remember, like I don't know, you saw this Lord King with them. You tied to your man to the rope, so it's like me and you, and we, you know, what I'm saying, we get in against the other two, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I must have missed that.
Yeah.
they've got a
They just did it.
4-player mode, 2-on-2, and we're restricted in proximity because you have a rope tied to each other, right? So we can't
all right.
go too far. It's like it looks fun as hell. So I was like, okay, so you got that going on. And then what really impressed me, I don't know if Lord Sav, I know you probably caught this. I didn't realize that, like, I just thought each individual character had their own set. Like, it looks like all these arms are interchangeable, right, Lord Sav? Like,
they're all interchangeable, but each of them has special ones that I guess have better properties when you use it with that particular character. Like, they'll tell you like this particular arm is best suited to this character.
Right.
Yes. And it just showed me like the level of configuration is just so intense. Like you really can customize these things. So I was like, all right, there's some depth here, you know, what's going on. And to me, the mic drop moment for the game was when they said all future DLC and everything else going forward is going to be free. And I'm like, okay, they're showing a commitment.
I do like how companies are going away from that, you know, paid stuff.
Yeah, man. And I love when, like, I believe Halo did that. I love when games do that because to me, the most, you know, sorry, Activision, much as I'm a Bungie guy, the most fracturing thing in a community is when the DLC is separated, right? So you got that whole base people that bought the game that either is not willing to buy the new DLC, and now it's like, you know, that kind of thing. So now, I don't have the Taken King, or this person doesn't have this DLC.
And then you got to pretty much hear them bitch about, I just don't want to get it. I feel like I shouldn't have to have it to play with you guys. Anchorman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got killed for that.
Nintendo's been good about that with their new IP. I think they realized, like, in order to get people in the door, they did it with Splatoon, where Splatoon launched very kind of bare bones, and then little by little, they kept adding stages and whatnot, and more guns and stuff like that. But it was all free, so you keep people invested from the very beginning. I think doing that with ARMS is a smart thing. You know, that way, again, people that are kind of on the fence, it makes them a little more apt to look at the game a second time. I don't recall if they did that with Mario Kart. I don't know if they made people pay for Mario Kart on the Wii U in terms of
They
like.
did. Yep.
They did. Yep. The state. Yeah. So.
Okay.
And with Zelda on Breath of the Wild, when I saw there was a season pass for that at launch, I was like, we're gonna go to pay DLC for this system. But I'm glad to see that pretty much everything else has gone free. So.
And to be honest with you, I am secretly looking forward to that DLC. I'm not even lying to you guys. I mean, I just got my master, so I know I'm late. I just got my master.
I was about to say last
week. He went on Twitter. He was like, "I got it." I was like,
Listen,
"Really, man? Really?"
I was in my feelings. It was an emotional thing. Like to me, that quest was game of the year for me. I was like, "Yes, this is amazing!" Like, so now the reason why I was so hyped to get it was because when I read the DLC contents and they talking about that trial of the sword thing, and that when you beat it in the DLC, you unlock the true power of the Master Sword. So I'm like, I gotta get the Master Sword now. So like, this is a given. So, you know, to me, I'm kind of hyped for what Zelda. Listen, anything that gives me more Zelda content.
Well, at least that's a single player, bro. You know, at least that's single player where it's not going to fracture the community, like you said. You know, it's just giving you more of the single player experience, which is good.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And like you said, I mean, you can make the argument. You know, they got the best single play with that title, and Mario Kart, man.
Mario Kart surprised me how much I'd have fun with it again.
I did not believe I was gonna have that much fun with it. But just wrapping this up for as far as the mic drop moments, Virtual Console, please. You know, I've bitched, I moaned, I know, but if we can do that. Metroid would be cool. I would love a cool third-party IP, like a COD would be great for the casuals. I think that would be awesome. I'm hearing EA is going to throw their name in the ring again. And my mic drop for me, I know a lot of people might not agree with this. If they can get a Madden running on that,
I don't think if they can. I just think whenever EA feels like they can do it.
I think EA said they're going to do something, right? They said we know they have the FIFA line.
But sports games, they'll do really good on the Switch. Yeah, really good.
Just like sit in bed, play a game bad, and go to sleep. I would actually really enjoy that, to just like go through the seasons more of the single player stuff.
It's like what me and Laura Cognito talked about. You know, I feel like one of the biggest things that they really need to push is when it comes to third party. You don't necessarily need every third party, but you really need to go after the ones that are really portable.
Right. We definitely know EA's cooking something. It'd be interesting to see what
Did
it
you
is.
see the screenshots that they have for Scorpio's version of Madden?
We're not going to compare.
Yeah, no,
Obviously, we're not going to compare it to the Scorpio version.
This is gonna happen. I mean, this is why this is my fear. Like, don't do that. Don't put that
I feel where you're at, Lord King, but in fairness to them, like when you see like the latest Digital Foundry stuff, like they did the Thumper. Now, granted, we know Thumper is not, it's Thumper.
Yeah.
But you got that, you got Minecraft. Actually, I want to shout out. I don't know if Lord Inferno saw this and Sovereign. The Snake Pass held up well.
Yeah, beat the
PS4 version.
Anchorman's Game of the Year.
So what I'm seeing is when they use Unreal really scales down pretty nicely because even NBA Playground, they got a little glaze to it though. I mean, I don't know if you noticed that. Got a little smearing.
I think the portable part makes that justified to sacrifice.
Yeah, I think so. But
I don't do that. Make some little Madden for them, some little in the corner Madden.
You're referring to them as like third-class citizens.
Yeah, well they are, and you put it as Go Madden Go, like something like that. Go Madden Go. Madden on the go, like Go Madden Go, like Go Madden Go.
Is going to be better than the GOAT edition. Anything's going to be better than that.
And this
GOAT edition, seriously.
Hey, quick question. I know we're not really talking about Madden. Do you think having Tom Brady on the cover like that might hurt its sales a little bit?
No, I'm scared for Tom Brady's leg.
Well, we got Inferno in here. Talking blasphemous. Don't talk about that. That's a Bostonian in there.
Yeah, we better stop this conversation real quick.
Let's not let this go left.
I used to live there. It's not that special. But
we will not insult the great Lord Inferno.
No, I wasn't trying to start anything. I just know that he's got a lot of haters. I don't follow football.
Oh my God!
He's going to have haters, but he's also going to have respect. He is still talented.
Exactly. You got to give the man his championship.
Hopefully the Madden curse get a hold of him today.
Oh my God! So on that note,
I'm a Jets fan, baby.
We're gonna move on from Nintendo. We've all got some great ideas. We'll see what they got. The momentum. They got a lot riding. The ball's in their court. And it's going to be really interesting to see how that direct goes and what do they do in subsequent days. So I want to get into it because we know we got the big one coming up now, which is the Destiny2 gameplay reveal. And as the Iron Lord podcast originated as a Destiny-focused podcast, could not wait to have my brethren on Evantis for this. But I do want to start off different. I want to start off first with just impressions of the actual reveal itself. We'll get into controversy, all that stuff later. Just about what we saw. I want to start off with Sovereign.
I knew that was coming.
Sovereign, you're first, because as we all know, Lord Sovereign is not a Destiny player.
Let's get the noob out of the way.
Didn't play the first one. So I am curious. Lord Cognito is curious. After seeing it, brutally honest, did you feel it? Did you where are you at after seeing the Destiny 2 gameplay review?
Okay, well, just coming off of speaking on Destiny 1, the only reason I fell off was obviously because I didn't have the opportunity to play with you guys as much. So I found myself alone because I never had anything against Destiny. I actually enjoyed it a lot. It's just a matter of playing with people. So that said, Destiny 2, when I saw the campaign, the Homecoming gameplay reveal, graphically, it was amazing. The game, what they managed to do, and it's just a big complaint people had about original Destiny is that the story didn't, apart from taking King and whatnot, the story just didn't resonate. The story was kind of bland. Obviously, from the very beginning here, you see that the story has it emphasizes characters, it emphasizes personality. It gave it kind of like a sort of a gravitas, and obviously what was happening there, where the tower being destroyed. I thought that was amazing. Obviously, looking at it, you know that's running on a high-end PC, and it's not. And we'll get into that later.
Let's take the controversy yet. We just doing impressions.
So, but that was amazing to me. Honestly, if the entire campaign holds up like that, I'm in. Which way I'm able to play, was the middle of the night, middle of the day, whatever. Whenever I get a chance to play with you guys, I'm gonna be on. So I'm definitely excited by that.
Okay, all right. Now, Lord Inferno, I'm very curious. First, let me get your history. Did you play Destiny? Were you not a fan of it? Like, what? Give me your Destiny Lord Inferno history.
Well,
if there's any.
Well, the history is very short, gentlemen, I must say. My impression of Destiny at the beginning was a turnoff to me. I did not find the story or the storytelling very compelling, so I was very quickly turned off. The latest stuff almost had me going back. Taken King, Rise of Iron, that stuff looked like they were, making strides to change how it all went down. And I was starting to get back into it, but not terribly immersed in it, because like Sovereign just said, you got to have the people there to play with. I think single player wise, it's just not very compelling. So if you got people, if you got your crew, you guys of course make up your crew and you guys are very seasoned in it, but bringing a newbie in to a crew of level 40, light whatever, it's very difficult to do that. So it's you got to be a lot in the same level. And I think Destiny 2 kind of in the reveal talked a little bit about how they're gonna alleviate that a little bit. So I'm in for Destiny 2. I think I'm going to buy it day one.
Whoa.
I think I'm going to get Destiny 2 day one. Yeah, I had Destiny 1 pre-ordered. I played a good amount right at the beginning, and then kind of fell off, like I said, because of the story. But I got to say, I'm really intrigued by what they talked about with doing treasure hunts, activities, and stuff. Not having to go back to orbit in order to select missions and everything. There's a lot more to do. There's a lot more to do, and there's a lot more that you do that pertains to a story that's being told very well. So the storytelling, I know, was huge for them. They talked about how there's 3 things that they wanted to kind of get going on this release. They wanted a world that pulled you in. I'm reading this exactly how they said it, actually. A world that pulled you in, amazing things to do, and always somebody to play with. And if those 3 things are accomplished in Destiny 2, those were my only qualms with the first game. I think the first game, the gunplay was second to none. I think the gear
Thank you
building,
for that, Lord Inferno. I gotta slow you. Thank you for that, because shout out to Lord Attic. I know you made it a very controversial video. You got a lot of flack, but I'm glad that a person who even didn't like Destiny per se, you didn't have the greatest experience with the first one, but that you did acknowledge the gameplay, that the mechanics of the gameplay was tight. I salute you on that, because as Destiny players, we don't get that a lot. So I like to get that love from the non-Destiny.
Yeah, man. If anything, I'm a realist on it. Even though I didn't like the game, the storytelling and the story that was presented, the gameplay was just so good. I mean, I remember the gunplay just being so fantastic. I think the gear building is fantastic. They just got to give me a lot more stuff to do without bumping back out to orbit, and they got to give me something that will keep me going, keep me driven to get going, and they got to give me a way, like it looks like they've done, to find somebody to play with at all times, even if my friends aren't online or if my friends are 20 levels ahead of me. Just give me a way to group up with people and do it in a crew. So I'm excited for it.
Can I ask a question, Inferno?
Absolutely, bud.
Did you do any of the raids in the first one, or did you not make it that far?
No raids for me.
See, and that's where the gameplay of Destiny really is second to none. Like the gameplay, the game feels real. What's the word I'm looking for?
Repetitive.
It's not even that it's repetitive. Like I feel like the game is a very repetitive game, but what makes it different is it's not necessary. Besides, there are certain aspects of Destiny, like Trials of Osiris, that you lose friends over. But when it comes to I Nightfall, I felt like there at the end got kind of repetitive. You didn't want to do it because you didn't get nothing out of it. But I can play the raids literally over and over again, and I feel like it never gets old.
Yeah, the raid is definitely, Lord Inferno, the pinnacle. Like that's what turned the tide for me, because I was with you on Destiny 1. You know, a lot of people, it's kind of funny, I've become the poster child for Destiny, but I was like the biggest kind of hater when it first came out. But it's you know, it's kind of interesting what you said, because I heard that Lord King.
Yeah, I had to drag you to all the raids. I'm like, yo, sit in the corner with this rocket launcher and just shoot when we tell you to.
Absolutely. I mean, with Lord King, Lord Sinister, you know, Lord Addict, they begged me. I really had no incentive to level up.
I didn't beg you nothing. You got me into the game after you were in the game.
Oh, you're right. After the fact. I'm sorry. You are correct. Now I got my timeline mixed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like Lord King and Lord Sin, and they really said, look, you've got to do a raid just to see. And then when you experience that level of cooperation and teamwork with 6 players, and it's the hardest content, it's something to, it's nothing like that. Like, there's nothing in gaming, in my opinion, that replicates the raid experience in Destiny. So I'm kind of sad that you didn't get a chance to, but excited that you will get a chance to.
On this one, I will get the chance to, because they talked about how it's going to be available to all players. You know, the trials, raids, and Nightfall, all that stuff's going to be available, you know, right away for everyone, essentially. So like, see, that's what I wanted. I don't want anything locked behind these ridiculous levels, and I understand, you know, they are difficult. I understand that, you know, like you guys said, certain modes will make you lose friends.
But be careful of the wording that they said, because they just told you that all the raids is available to you. All the raids was available to you before. But it wouldn't make any sense if you are level 1 and you can go do a raid.
I think they're gonna make the grind easier, but you're still gonna have to put in work to actually.
You're gonna put in that work to get into that raid, because that raid is the, you know, the ice cream on, or the cherry on top of the cake, or whatever it is. You know, it's the good part.
And the funny thing about Destiny is, like, you know, you see this cooperative aspect from like YouTube videos and stuff. It's like I said in my YouTube video, like, you see what I'm doing now on the screen, but you don't hear the party that is being talked while we're doing this. Because I remember when Oryx came out and people kept messing up the jump, and it's like, look, it's counterclockwise. It's not that hard. Do I have to get my little brother to come in here and do this?
Don't make fun of the warlocks with the jumping, but we will move on.
Yeah, please.
I just want to get now. I want to switch gears. Thank you, Inferno and Sovereign.
Absolutely.
To my man, Lordy Pontus. You all represent the other side. What was your feeling when you saw the gameplay reveal?
I mean, I'm biased. I'll say that right up front. I've got like 1,800 hours in this game, so
that's right. Destiny damage.
Yep. No, honestly, like, everything from what I've seen so far, I agree with most of what you guys have been saying. We know the story was light. We know, especially in Destiny 1 vanilla, for sure, the story was questionable, and that's being nice. Of course, the time, you know, don't have time to explain what we don't have time to explain. It seems like they got the time. It definitely seems like they now have the time, which is good, because that's what we wanted. And then just the idea of when the Cabal comes in, and just the premise of the entire story. Spoilers, but if you watch the review, you're going to get the same thing. The motivation behind Dominus Gall, his motivation just to come in and be like, the Traveler, you got it wrong. To tell to have the, you know, audacity involved to say anything on that level, got it wrong, and that, no, you got it wrong. We're the best in the universe, or however far we're going to reach in the galaxy, at least, and to say, we are the ones who deserve to be guardians. We are the ones who deserve to be empowered with the light, and we're going to control you and show you that you picked the wrong ones. That motivation for a villain is up there. Like, that's one of the best ones that I've seen. So that alone is actually really cool.
Let me ask you this question though. What did you feel? I don't want to spill into my own point, but I gotta ask you, what did you feel about the Zavala performance?
Do what?
The Zavala performance.
Oh, dude, that was like epic. No, like the opening when first they had the opening with just him as a guardian, like you'd see him almost like learning, just getting taken down and then picked up again, kind of the way we did. It's like we had our wipes and things like that, and it's to the level that he's at now when you actually see him holding the bubble, which I want one that big, by the way. Ours is tiny in comparison. But when you actually see him fighting and struggling, taking those missile shots, and you see like the strain in him when he's doing that, just the emotional depth that like was portrayed in the opening cinematics. I mean, Cade's still Cade. He's still his little, you know, snarky bud. which is fine. He pulls out the
Notice-
golden gun and goes to shoot the ships, and then Ikora, of course, saves him.
That's what I was about to say. How does it feel to have a warlock like Ikora have to save Cade? Because Cade was about to get squashed. Like, he's about to die.
Yeah. So it was like, but all of those, I mean, I don't know. And then the fact that I'm trying to think, a Titan on Titan is kind of hilarious. But when you actually go visit him on Titan, just the fact that he's, got this existential crisis, like, what have I been doing for this time now that's been ripped away? Have I been like so much? Hopefully we can dive into, and then the fact that hopefully if there's in-game lore behind all of this. No, I was like, honestly, initial impressions for me are 2 thumbs up. Yes, I'm biased, but if they can live up to what they showed, if the feeling of the missions throughout the campaign, of course, everything can't have that opening like insanity.
Right.
But if you can have that build and you can have the climax, and if the missions actually, tie a strike into something that matters, and then do some more missions, go on your side quest, learn something about the side, bring that back in. If all of it ties in together, as opposed to here's this thing, here's the traveler, here's the stranger, we don't know anything about it, in a raid that doesn't really connect. If it goes together and ties together a lot more the way Taken King did, but to like the 10th level, yes, sign me up. Well, I was like, I was streaming the reveal and kind of doing a recap and everything, and I just had it on my Twitch stream, and everybody was just saying, I'm throwing my money at the screen. I'm actually doing it this time. Like, I mean, those were the feelings if they can hold up to it. So without getting into too much detail about specifics and weapon systems and things like that, those my impressions so far.
Those are your impressions. Cool.
Yeah, if they live up to what they've done so far, I'm down. Absolutely.
Sounds good. Now I want to switch gears again. And I want to bring it. He knows why he's laughing. I want to bring it to my man, Lord King. We have not talked. This is Lord King's floor right now. The round table is his. I am very curious.
Yeah, I'm going to go right after King.
Let him finish.
Well, I'm biased as well. But I'm jaded.
Talk to me.
All right.
To me, Lord King.
So, full disclosure, I'm going to get both versions, the PC version and the Xbox version. Full disclosure.
Okay, you want that 4K 60 with that?
Yeah,
everything.
But the thing is, I might cancel the PC version once it's confirmed that the Scorpio is doing the 60 frames in the single player. Now, when the reveal started, I said, here they go again. Here they go again with this CGI crap. Here they go again. And then it started, and I said, okay, all right. And they came out, and they're like, I'm just tired of their lies. So it's just like a salesman running his same rhetoric at you. You're just like, here he goes. Yeah, the car has what? Yeah, what? Does what again? Here it goes. Can I please drive the car? And then they started the gameplay. And I said, it's the same control type of thing. It was, stage thing, but it was actual gameplay. Thank you. This is what I'm here to see. I didn't come for all that.
That's right, because you were very upset. Not to cut you, you were very upset with the initial reveal because it was all CGI. So this is okay. I got you. Continue.
This is where the meat and potatoes. Where my money's going to, because I can't play no Silicon graphics crap. All right, this is where my cash is going, and I already know that gameplay is good. So what we're doing is looking at story. At the same time, I'm looking at the gameplay. I'm trying to see what separated them. Because they're unshackled now, from the 360 and the PlayStation 3, where's that horsepower going? Let me see. Now, it's something totally different from you looking from a live streaming, because you're not going to get the actual fidelity of the game to come through. So what you're looking for is little telltale things. So but I was looking at the shields, the bullet ricochets, the textures on the walls that I can discern at that point in time, the animation of the characters. And
what about that Dawnblade, though? What about that Dawnblade?
I'm gonna get to the powers of each character after that. And what I was doing was taking in the nuances of the graphical engine that they're using now, opposed to the old graphical engine. And you can see that there is a discernible difference in the animations of the characters. So I was like, oh, okay, I like that. And then I noticed that it was grounded because the particle effects and it was what's that word? Jesus. Yeah, it was the physics The physics of a box that he had shot something against the wall, and the physics of the box tumbling. I was like, oh, they actually using a live physics engine. Is it a Havoc engine or something like that? And I said, wow, okay, I can see the processing power now. I see it. So I was happy. I was amazed. From that point on, I didn't really want to see too much, but I wanted to see the new powers. And when they got to the most impressive power to me was with the shield of Captain America.
Lord Inferno agrees with you.
That I said,
Titan
I said I'm a Titan this year.
What is with Bungie making the Titans? First they had Thor from the Taken King, right?
Yes,
Thor.
And now we got Captain America. What are they trying
I
to
will
tell
say
us about
one
Titans?
thing though, when he used that the Fist of Havoc in that trailer, where he was looking down the hallway and he saw like 8 coming at him and his hands started glowing. I was like, I know exactly what he about to do.
Good.
So when he used the shield and it bounced off of all the enemies and came back to him, I said, it's on now. And I went and I proceeded to stop looking at the video for that second, to pre-order my jump off and jump back to the video. And I said, oh, let me get the $100 edition because I'm not gonna miss out. It impressed me. It impressed me, and that's what I wanted to take away from it. I wanted to take away a level of being impressed and enthusiasm that I had for the first one. Now, are they going to live up to the lies that they tell? I don't know. Do I have hope? Yes, I do. Because the story looked like it's more fleshed out. Hopefully they don't fire people 2 weeks before the game is coming out and
Yeah, that'd be good.
all that stuff.
Yes.
You know,
we had our concerns. ILP had their concerns.
And you know, the whole Peter Dinklage situation that won't ever crop up again.
Fair enough.
I feel that, you know, they're going to make it easier for your friends to join you. They're removing the barriers of the old systems as far as having to go to space and having to load in and having to wait around. So they took away those barriers, and I thought those barriers was brought upon by the old gen. So all we're looking for in us Scorpio users, because we know that the PlayStation Pro,
we go get there.
It's a situation.
That's the next segment. Hey, Lord Anchor, he's dropping at the bit. I just want to finish up with Addict.
No doubt. But I was impressed. And
okay, cool. Fair enough. Lord Addict, when you saw that trailer, you were very quiet in that chat with me. I need to know, what were the feels?
All right, so first off, I want to go in to say that I was in with that trailer the moment I saw Zavala put up that shield and was like, on me! And I was like, what? Like, that's the only time you've actually seen him have any kind of emotion, because he's sitting there walking towards the that big window that's behind the Vanguard, and then you know it's kind of funny how ironic that he decides to look out the window the moment the Cabal army decides to descend on the tower, and when he said that, dude, and then, you know, he puts up that bubble, I was like, yo, like, this is a good way. First off, they started it with him growing up to becoming the Guardian he is, and that was a really good way to get people into the actual gameplay trailer. So then you see that, and then for some reason, I don't know, you know, it's K for you, but K decides to use the golden gun when there's ships that he's fighting and not him. And I'm like, and when I saw that, I was like, what are you doing, K? And then, you know, and then Homegirl saved him. I'm like, you know what? For that stupidity, I wouldn't have been upset if he got crushed. Because, like, it made no sense to me.
Yeah,
you have ships up that's coming at you. He uses a golden gun. But, you know, that's neither here or there. So then you get to the gameplay. All right, so you go up to the stairs, and then you see the all those little, I don't know what they're exactly going to call them, those little capsules that have the Cabal in them.
Yeah, they
I felt a certain way when they destroyed every vault that was in front of me. So, you know, first off, that was good. Then you get to the port with Zavala. You know, he puts up his bubble again because they're shooting those missiles at you. And I'm sitting here looking at this bubble. You know, in the first Destiny, when you put up the bubble, it was kind of like, you know, it was a contrast blue regardless what happened. But on here, it's like particle effects, and when the bubble's taking damage, you see it starting to crackle and dwindle a little bit. So at first, I noticed right there that they've really taken into fine detail the supers now.
Right.
All right. So at this point, we've seen the current supers. So we're going down there, and that's when we see the shield. And you could ask Lord Cog, I was like, is that a shield? So, he throws it. I was like, whoa. And so, at this point, I'm already like, I want this. Then you saw the hunter do his little pole fiasco. And at first we just thought it was the blade dancer because you couldn't really see up close to it at the time. It was
very Channel 5-ish.
Yeah, so then obviously Lord Sinister goes in saying that he doesn't think that he thinks they got robbed again, but that's here or there. And then you see that warlock jump in the air. And I'm thinking, he about the Nova Bomb or something. This dude pulls out a sword, and I'm like, I'm done. Like when I saw the sword, I was done. I was bought. Like right then and there. Starts shooting out fire on it. And then when it comes to this game, I feel like the biggest changes that happen is multiplayer wise. I feel like that they really listened to the community. They listened to what everyone wanted, and they realized we messed up on the multiplayer. The first one, we spent 3 years trying to fix it, but it's not fixable. So, they went back to their roots, and people, I feel a little uneasy with 4-on-4 on every game mode. I feel like control should be 6-on-6, and then everything else should be 4-on-4. But,
you still there?
Everyone has 2 revives.
Okay.
And, so you can't just die constantly, consistently now. You actually have to, value when you want to get revived. And the part that issues me the most and the part that annoys me the most about the gaming community is this thing, you see the Destiny 1.5, and I'm like, this is a sequel to the original. Did they expect the game to look completely different?
Right.
That's like the equivalent of me saying Shadow of War, looks just like Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor 1.5, right?
Do the same thing. 1.5. And I'm like, look, like there's a difference between giving speculation and constructive criticism and just being an asshole. And that's what a lot of people on YouTube and a lot of people on Twitter were doing. They were just they were shooting out blind criticism. And when you get someone is when you ask them, well, what did you not like about Destiny? And they say it's just trash. And I'm like, okay, can I have a specific reason? It's just trash. I'm like, oh my God.
So people can't get convinced. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Destiny is just one of those games that, it's just like the way I equivalent is like how, unfortunately, I guess how Call of Duty goes through it sometimes now when it becomes that level of popularity. I mean, the stream numbers that they had were ridiculous. I don't know if anyone knows off
like 500,000.
500,000 or something like that on Twitch, right?
Wow.
But the game's dead, though.
My Twitch stream, I don't know if it was that or it was the Xbox app.
And that's just Twitch.
Every time I try to watch it.
That's just Twitch. Imagine the people watching on YouTube through GameStop, through IGN. They split up the install base on YouTube. Like, my biggest thing is, look, they messed up on the story. There's no denying that. They had to do a lot of last minute shit on Destiny. It doesn't excuse it should have been delayed if it was that serious. They did a lot of questionable marketing on the first one. Doesn't excuse it. But on the second one, you had Taken King. They were like, look, we get it. We're fixing this. We're trying to put more aspect on the story wise. They put Oryx in there. They gave Cade a voice. They're like, we're getting that. You get Rise of Iron, you get Solid in a voice. They're like, we getting that. It's like
starting to flesh out characters.
Yeah, it's like, look, like I feel like people really look down on the negative aspects on Destiny and Bungie, but they're not looking at how they're improving the game. Throughout 3 years, Destiny Vanilla and Destiny Rise of Iron were two entirely different
games. Yeah, absolutely. And in the people's defense that hate Destiny, we do have to give them this, that sometimes that first impression can leave a sour taste in your mouth.
By far. Look at Xbox One.
I will, I don't want to make, obviously we all know Destiny's my favorite game, but I do want to sympathize with them in that. But like you said, Lord Atticus, it's one of those things that is like, if you haven't played especially from the Taken King on, because Lord Abonsis would know, that's when, when Luke Smith, Mark Noseworthy, and those guys really got in, changed the lighting system, the light leveling system, and so many different mechanics, and then they started to change. But I'm going to jump in real quick.
I do want to say one more thing, though. I think it's funny how how Destiny and Bungie in the amount of 3 years has almost arguably enough hate that COD has had in the past 15 years.
Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. There's definitely a lot of dislikes. But let me jump right on this. I'm with the Lords on all this. Blew me away. Shout out to Lance Reddick. You know, that's my man from the Wire. Lord King knows. You know, he's been around for years, and I really wasn't the biggest Zavala guy, you know, to be honest, from the character standpoint. That intro made me fall in love with the character. And it was, to me, very spectacular. Actually, probably the first time I felt emotional watching a Destiny thing. I was just like, now, granted, I may be fanboying out. That may be me and my feelings. But I thought that initial scene with him being woke up by the ghost, defining what it means to be a guardian, and whole killing, that to me was amazing, symbolic. Loved it. The whole ride. I was in on the whole ride. Real quick synopsis on the powers. You know, Sunsing is my thing. I'm a warlock. So to see that transformed into an offensive super with a sword looks spectacular to me. Completely amazed. All the social features, as you know, Lord Attic, me, you, and Lord Sleep, going back with Lord SWAT. But I was just so happy that for the people like, you know, Inferno and Sovereign, who never got a chance to do a raid, never got a chance to do a nightfall.
And they did say that there's more cinematics in this game than they've ever done.
Yeah, like that to me, I mean, you've got the best content in Destiny, not like 10% the numbers were never ever did a raid. And to me, that was just sad. So I'm finally glad that they got that straightened out, created the guided games, you know, and to me, it was amazing. So, and the last thing about the patrols, the maps, you know, multiplayer changing up on a 4v4, looks like from a balance standpoint, looked like they're going the Halo route. And at first I may have felt a little in my feelings because it wasn't 6, but I'm like, you know what? If they can balance this thing, I'm okay with that. And I'm also curious to see how Trials is going to play Ibantes when all modes are 4v4.
An extra person is very vital in Trials.
That's going to be interesting to see that dynamic. So that's pretty much me with the impressions. Now I want to get right into the controversy because we know Destiny sparked some stuff this week. So again, I want to bring it to Lord Inferno now. Now that we know the PS4 Pro is doing 4K 30, all consoles are doing 30 frames per second. As of right now, Bungie has yet to comment on what the Scorpio version is capable of, most likely due to NDA. But the question becomes, Mike Ibarra has put out a statement this week stating, because one of the biggest fears from the Scorpio community was, would Xbox games be held back, Scorpio games be held back based on parity?
I thought that was genius what Mike did. I thought that was genius.
Mike Ibarra dropped a bomb this week on Twitter.
It's amazing how a simple tweet just puts so much light on stuff.
And basically said, this is not the case. We do not demand parity. It is up to the developers. Lord Inferno, I need to know your impressions of this whole fiasco, the Scorpio news, the PC port, the differentials in 30 frames per second. What did you feel when you got all this plethora? And I know you saw my timeline because my timeline was lit on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
So I need to know your feelings on everything controversial.
And honestly, you know, when it comes to first person shooter games, give me 60 FPS over 30, whatever you got to do. So if you gotta make it 1440p, like, and you gotta keep it at 1440p and give me 60 frames per second, give me that. You know what I mean? Give me that. And you know, as far as the Ibarra tweet, and Attic, you said it pretty well. It's just amazing how much can be stirred up over a tweet like that, and just a power move by Microsoft, knowing that they've created a console that can do these games at such high fidelity. And if you're gonna have, you know, especially, you know, Microsoft and Bungie are no secret here at bad terms, and so a company like that, if they can show them up like that and make them look like they're the ones that are keeping it back. Yeah, you know, the backslap, exactly.
It completely took the light away from them being the reason. Like in one tweet.
That was a throw under the bus comment. I mean,
and then, oh yeah, definitely. And then you got people like Shannon Loftus that initially said that wasn't the case, and now she's like, oh no, never mind. You know, Mike was right. Thanks for clarifying, Mike. You know, we're gonna jump on that bandwagon because we just fucked you over.
Because for clarity, Lord Inferno, that's a good point. For clarity, Lord Inferno, Microsoft's stance on Scorpio initially. And I know
Absolutely
me and Lord Anchorman were going at it a little bit. And because initially they did say that the Scorpio titles in the Xbox One would have to have like a multiplayer frames per second parity. So
Right.
this is a reverse stance in a sense.
Right, yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely, because they didn't want people, and understandably so, Microsoft doesn't want people that have the OG Xbox or even the Xbox One S to feel like they have an inferior product like PlayStation doesn't worry about doing. But just had to throw that in there real quick. I am a PlayStation gamer,
That's
though,
fine.
but I mean, gotta be real when I gotta be real. But you know, I understand what they're trying to do. But at the same point, you know, now they're saying they don't want to do that. Now they're saying, you know, we have a beast here. You know, if we can get 60 FPS on our most powerful console, and that's going to drive some sales. Because let's just face it, if Destiny 2 were 4K 60 on Xbox One, it would be a
Marketing
system
deal would
seller.
be useless.
It would be a
Oh,
system seller.
boy.
Yeah, exactly. It would be a counter marketing deal. I mean, being the only place where you can market 4K 60 on, you know, arguably the biggest game of 2017, that's a huge push.
Huge.
And you know, I hate to think that the reason that they're not able to do that is because Sony is forcing them not to. And I hate to think
Let
that.
me put you up to speed, though, because you're touching some great points. Now, you do know about the level of Team Petty when it comes to Sony and these exclusivity.
Oh yes, I do.
With Destiny and the Xbox community. So
Oh yeah.
my question to you, Lord Inferno, would you put it past Bungie to have something with Sony to not allow them to maximize the Scorpio on a frames per second standpoint?
I wouldn't put it past them, as sad as it is.
I think it's pretty safe to bet that's what happened. You can't really and you know, you can't blame Sony. You can't market a version of this game when the way better superior version, because you know 30 over 60 is a huge advantage in multiplayer, and it's on the competition. There's no way you can downgrade that. There's no way you can fight that unless you're like, look, we will not be writing these checks out unless you do what you need to do.
And right, because continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just to go to that 30 versus 60 point, and a lot of people complaining about that on Twitter. You got to realize that PC's been doing this since the beginning of PC gaming. There's been a discrepancy in FPS, and no one has bitched about it. If you want it, you pay $500.
You pay exact. I'm with you. I'm in a Lord King state of mind. If you pay for the premium experience, right, Lord King? Should you have?
I'm waiting to go.
Yeah, I'm getting you next. But I'm just thinking of your mindset. I know the premium experience gamer that you are. Like if you pay for it, and like Lord Inferno said it, if PC's been doing this for years, so we don't want to hear about unfair advantage. Don't let a 2013 console hold back a 2017 one. So I was so proud of Microsoft with jumping in front of that. Like that to me was a bombshell. Continue on in front. I'm sorry, I cut you.
No, yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. Like 2013 versus 2017, the hardware is completely different. Can you imagine what the PC community would be like if they had to hold it back to like a GTX like 700? Come on, man. People would be going crazy. They bought the graphics card for a reason. You don't buy Scorpio. You don't spend, maybe 500, maybe 400, whatever it is. If it's 500, say if it's more, you don't buy that to be held back by the system that's come out in 2013. And I honestly sympathize with people on this Destiny thing because I honestly, when I heard it was 30 across all consoles, honestly shocked about it. Honestly shocked. And nothing makes me waver from my thoughts that it's being held back by Bungie and Sony's deal. I mean, it's got to be. It's got to be. There's no other explanation.
Fair enough. Lord King. I need you in this. Your perspective is vital.
Well, I respect the petty, baby. I respect it. I respect it because let me tell you something. If I can cap you, I'm gonna cap you. I'm not gonna allow you to have the advantage. I'm so sorry.
But they have the exclusive marketing, right?
Yeah,
should that be enough?
No, that's not enough. Hamstring the other dude as well. We're gonna have to bottle him up because he's too robust. We cannot allow this to happen. Now, coming from the standpoint of me purchasing a Scorpio, I cannot stand the petty. This petty stop. It must stop. It must stop. But do I respect it? I respect the hell out of it.
So you respect the head. You respect the gangster.
I respect that.
Power move by Sony to say, "Oh no, we can't let this go down."
I respect the foresight.
Okay.
I respect the foresight that they said, man, well, we're gonna bring out Destiny 2, and our contract will extend into Destiny 2. Oh, they talk about Scorpio. We're gonna have to go back to the table and underwrite this part right here. The underwriters will be getting in contact with you guys because we will cap this.
Now let me ask the Lords this. Do you think now that all this pot stirring is going on, right? And the facts are coming out that it is not Microsoft. Do the Lords feel in any way that this puts pressure on Bungie to make a better version for the Scorpio?
No, they don't care.
No.
Yo, y'all all said that quick.
It's true.
Lordy Bunches, feedback on this real quick, and I'm gonna get it back to Lord King.
No, I was just gonna say, kind of just standing away on this one, just because it's up to. I mean, that's a business partnership, and when it comes down to it, if they have a business partnership and they've agreed to it and it's in a contract, and Sony's going to be the one to step up and pay for it. I mean, if Microsoft wants to pay for it, they can. But if Sony beat them to it and they've got it in there, then unfortunately, as a developer, you got to work with where the money's at as much as you can. So it's like, take what you can, take your advantages. They've already got Blizzard and Activision behind them. And that's the bigger level anyway. So, I mean, Bungie may have some of these decisions, but Activision's really probably the one pulling those strings and to take those pairings up. So, I mean, they're just taking advantage of what they've got. And if they're going to say this is the best way we can sell this game to a bigger audience in the first place, then we're going to do it.
Now, Lordy Bunch, you're completely right. From a business standpoint, that's a power move. That's what you have to. That's business, right?
Yep.
My question is, I want to say not ethics, because it's really not ethics, but from a standpoint of just, you are a Scorpio owner, and because let's just call it what it is. Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy, when IGM Fireteam Chat put the gun to the head,
said live, it's not strong enough. Said live.
It said PS4 can't do
and
it.
they said, why isn't the PS4 Pro 60 FPS? And the first thing Luke he just said it. He was just like, they can't handle it. No disrespect.
I gotta respect Luke for that.
Yeah, from a CPU, he said the computations in our game, the networking aspects, the social aspects, it is not capable. Now, Mark tried to save it. Noseworthy tried to jump in and say, he said, well, from the resolution standpoint, with the GPU, they could do, the 4K.
CPU bound, that's what he said.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it 4K checkerboard or is it 4K native?
That's the other question. We don't know. Yeah, that's another question.
Yeah.
So I just want to finish up with the bunches. So when that came out, that they kind of said that and they put them out there when the gun was kind of to the head as far as what the Pro was able to do. And then the very next follow-up question from my guy Fran Marabella, what about the Scorpio? And then it was kind of the awkward silence. We can't comment. It could be MDA, that whole bit. From that standpoint, did it at least bother you? I know you're a pro guy. I know you got your pro. But did it at least bother you from a standpoint that maybe it won't be maximized at all, that we won't see the true potential of it from a console standpoint on Scorpio?
I mean, if I was I don't even have a pro yet, so honestly, it's either way. But it's just
that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was I've been just waiting because I don't have a 4K monitor and I sit down here and play on my computer. So sadly,
with these rumors, you can get that PS5 before you get that Pro.
Well, I was if I can wait long enough, maybe I'll do that. So that's what I was gonna say. Remind me of PS5 here in just a second once I answer this. So what I was going to say, though, when you sit there and do that, for one, they can't jump the gun. I mean, it's Bungie literally has to sit there and say, we have no comment about, Scorpio. We've said it exists. Right. Digital Foundry announced it. They literally cannot say anything. But it was to know if I do buy the Scorpio and say it's not being used, but then I want to turn around and say, okay, so what do they do when PS5 comes out? Say it does, say it doesn't, whenever. Say it's 2018. Bungie's next thing is not going to be a short process again. It was a 3-year thing last time. 10 years in the works. We're only about a third of the way into it. What are they going to do when PS5 comes out and then say, okay, now we can do 60 FPS? Is that when Scorpio's allowed to? I mean, that's kind of that's like a hard, like that's going to be a hard thing to basically
the younger
say.
brother just grew up, so now they see them on equal terms.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, how do you decide to say, okay, now you're allowed to have 60 frames per second? Like the day PS8, PS5 comes out, does a Scorpio get a patch for?
Yeah,
I know.
Like,
That's to be the interesting thing. I know.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, right.
Or-
Activision's
like,
just
I
gonna
really
be
don't know.
Activision ain't gonna let Scorpio have 60 then. I can almost guarantee you that.
nah.
I was like, that's kind of thing. That's, I guess the other piece of it is, if you really, really want the good graphics, wait a couple weeks, get it on PC, and then just blow the doors off of both of them.
It's not going to be a couple of weeks.
Question. That's what I was just about to say.
Or even a month or two. So
I think it's a year.
it's not going to be a year. It's going to be soon.
I think it's going to be the probably February, March of the following year.
Yeah, I think it's a
months
year.
for a PC release. I doubt it's going to be that far.
Well,
they don't
that's
have
what
any
people thought about
dedicated
GTA.
Yeah, no dedicated service. Vicarious Visions is doing it. That sounds like, pass it off to this guy, let that guy play around with it. I mean, it looked good on the PC off the PC screens that I saw. But again, I do not believe, because Activision wants to control the narrative of this game. They want it to be 100% positive. PC is an unknown variable. So 6 months to 7 months out, no dedicated servers, so we can blame whoever. Yeah. I think that's the way they're gonna go with it.
Lord Sovereign, I know we didn't get a chance to rock with you. You've heard all the controversy.
Oh, brother.
Talk to me, Lord Sovereign.
Yeah, I think I echo everything that the Lord have said till now. I think Activision and Bungie, whatever that deal is going to supersede anything that Microsoft would want to do with the game. It's a sad thing, but again, when the PC is a completely different entity, they're always going to be the superior platform. There's no way, shape, or form they were ever going to hamstring the PC. So I mean, I think we're just going to have to eat that on the Scorpio, unfortunately. Something that Lord King mentioned earlier, which may be a possibility. Maybe they let you rock out 4K 60 in single player, and the moment you hook up with any other Guardians, that's it. It drops down to the 30. Maybe something multiplayer centric. Also, when you talk about Crucible, maybe something in that regard. So, I mean, there are different ways that we might be able to get an improved experience, but I think overall, I think they have lockdown on that. I don't think that's going to change. Gotcha. I see them being that petty, although we don't necessarily know what Bungie's relationship with Microsoft is now that Phil is at the helm. It might be a little different. It might be a little less intense than it was with Matrix at the helm. So
not to cut you, Lord Saul, it's interesting. That's a great point, because I find it, and Lord Attic can attest, I find it very interesting that as soon as Destiny 2 was announced and Greenberg comments, he tweets, can't wait to see how this looks on Scorpio. I mean, like, how it's going to be amazing on Scorpio. I also find it interesting at a Destiny 2 gameplay reveal, Major Nelson's there.
Right.
He was trying to pull that Star Wars Battlefront fiasco he did. They're doing that secret promoting.
Elite Controller at the Destiny 2 event, talking about this is the best way. I thought it was the most hilarious thing.
What's funny is before that whole event, me and Laura Cognito were even saying they were going to do some marketing like that. We were like, Major Nelson's there. Watch after this is done. He's going to be promoting it on Twitter.
So it's funny that you said that, Loso, because I'm curious. Again, we do know this marketing deal is definitely Sony's. That's without question. But I do find it interesting that Microsoft execs are chirping, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Quick to jump out in front of stuff in reference to the Scorpio and things like, and to kind of put their chest out with the Scorpio. Let's be honest, this is kind of a bullish Microsoft right now, right? Like, as far as the Scorpio, oh no, we can do this. Oh no, our controller. Oh no, this our version is gonna by far look, the best. They pretty much in so many words saying it. So you think that maybe there's a chance as far as that relationship, something being allowed, possibly?
Absolutely. Again, like I said, Phil is a very diplomatic person. He's always shown, and he's gotten criticism for this. Anytime something positive happens on an opposing platform, he's the first one out there to send congratulations. And I think that does a lot to sort of kind of ferment these great relationships with the other first parties, obviously, because it's all gaming. I mean, let's be real, like all, you know, something that's doing well kind of lifts all ships, you know. So let's if Sony weren't doing as well, Microsoft wouldn't be pushed to do what it's doing now. Same thing with Switch. Switch wouldn't be doing as well. Nintendo wouldn't be doing what they're doing now if they didn't feel the need to do that. So, and Phil has always been very diplomatic in that sense. And again, I think we don't know what that relationship with Bungie is now. So I think it's a possibility that it could be something. Who knows? I mean, again, this is something that could be kind of revealed at E3. Although, again, once again, we don't know what the deal with Sony extends to in terms of types of media and how, what, you know, where Microsoft can kind of come out there and say, hey, we can be at this reveal event and we can tout our superiority in certain areas, and it's not necessarily stepping on what you have written down on paper for your deal. So again, if they're doing it, that means that they can't, because otherwise there would be a stop put to it. So, absolutely.
Okay. No, and 2 points. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
They need to do this with Red Dead also. When Red Dead comes out and Sony has their marketing open, they need to do the same thing. They need to tout, you know, whenever they can, tout superiority.
Now let me bring this to Lord Inferno. I want to ask him a question because I know TXR boys are plugged in. My question to you is, do you think, I think this Destiny thing obviously lift the lid off a lot, right? We got to see some dirty secrets of what's going on and how this whole Scorpio thing might play as far as parity, cross-platform, the whole bit. Do you think that this will affect future games that Microsoft does not have the marketing rights to?
Well, you were asking that question to Lord Inferno, and sadly, he's not here.
Oh, you dropped out. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't catch it. We'll get him back.
All right. So I just want to, you know, put my little 2 cents in, and, you know, not on that topic, because I know that topic is all, you know, for him. But do I feel that Sony will press at any point in time their hand on the situation? Yes. Because of this Call of Duty fiasco that was pressed upon them. We forget that Call of Duty ran better, played better on the Xbox 360. We forget that Microsoft had exclusives for Call of Duty for so long, and they held on to it, and they pushed their head in the dirt. And you know, where we were the bullies, kicking the sand in their face. All right, it is now our turn to eat this said sand. And it sucks that it's on a game that we want our stuff, but it's not going to happen because we did it in such a demonstrative way that forced these guys to come up with this strategy. And they came up with the best strategy. They waited for our best girlfriend to feel disgruntled. They waited and they wooed her and they wooed her and they wooed her when we just said, she's not going anywhere. and
just make her keep pumping out those halos.
And she left. She got sick and tired of the same old. And the new guy is driving her around in that brand new Corvette and let her shop. So listen, we cannot be pissed off that we made this monster.
No, I get that, Lord King, but what I mean is, moving forward,
it's never going to be a let up.
Yeah, do you think, like, for example, what's Lord Addict, help me out here? What's the other marketing deals? Red Dead, right? Red Dead, Sony's got. Isn't it Battlefront? So do we think that the games that Sony controls marketing rights, that these kind of practices will continue?
Yeah, every big title like that, everyone.
No, I don't think so. For one reason,
maybe not Red Dead, but I can guarantee you for Battlefront, I mean, it's going to happen.
It's not going to be a cap. It's not going to be a cap on Battlefront that you can only run 60.
Because it's already 60.
Right. That's not going to happen. They have a little bit more entwined with Bungie. because it's a different contract. They said it when they first did it. Everybody looked at the contract and said, this is totally different from any contract that we have ever seen.
It's not that. It's the issue is the PlayStation 4 is the leading market, and they will accommodate to the leading market.
Yeah, and it's also the type of game that it is. When you look at Destiny is kind of a living game. You're not expecting people to be playing Battlefront 2 2 years down the line. You do expect them to be playing Destiny 2 2 years down the line.
To be the big ones. I guarantee you Red Dead Redemption's one too.
Lord Ruler's making a good point though. We are forgetting the EA relationship and EA access in that aspect. Like there is some goodwill there. There is some things that are exclusive. I understand from a marketing standpoint. I'm just talking about in terms of EA. Like EA, I kind of feel it may be a little different just because of EA access in that relationship with formerly Peter Moore and those guys. Or you still think that because they have it as the marketing that this could still hinder Scorpio?
I don't think it affects Scorpio. Not in the same way the Destiny thing is. I mean, the positive relationship can only be seen. I don't think the positive relationship can only bring positive things, but I don't think it would hinder it at all. Again, like Lord King said, I don't think it's as deeply seated as the Bungie relationship.
The only reason that this came out the way it did is because Destiny is one of the only first-person shooters that doesn't run at 60. So there was something that, could be accommodated for, well, let's have 60 on the Scorpio. But it's like I told you, like when it comes to these big titles, these developers and publishers are going to really side with the leading platform. We've seen it with marketing deals going to them in the hordes as it is.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Just want to throw out one thing. Go ahead.
Like, Battlefront is one thing. It's a hit and miss on that, but I guarantee you, if Scorpio is able to hit at 60 frames, they will not do it on the Scorpio version.
It's possible. Now, I want to bring out Lord Anchorman, who's real lit in the chat, and I don't want him to get his shine because this is something that I have to admit as a Destiny fan, to me, even more so disgusted me, was not really the 30 FPS. That doesn't disgust me. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I play Destiny at 30 FPS, 1080p. I was perfectly fine with the way the game played. So that does not bother me in the least. However, this is where I have to side with Anchorman. I kind of feel no dedicated service is kind of disgusting, y'all. And to me, this shows the Lord's got to call it how we call it. You are making hand over fist with Destiny, microtransactions, money, sales. There is really no excuse you can't put that money towards dedicated service. Also, that is one of the, Lord, don't get me wrong, right? Isn't that like top 3 requested community features, Lordy Bontis? Like,
yeah, it's way up there for everybody. I mean, just so there's no excuses.
I mean, they could even just do it. The biggest issue is just Trials and Iron Banner. Even if they would just do it with it would be better.
But I heard the CEO did purchase a dedicated server.
No, they said on an interview that it will not have
No. His dedicated server name was Ivan, and he brings his food to him all the time with the money that
I'm done. I am done.
Anchorman will get on that hamster wheel and roll that hamster for Bethesda for them to have dedicated server.
That's the only thing, because it's like, come on, guys, it's 2017. Peer-to-peer does not work. Like, come on. And then what really pissed me off was that, I guess, back to the whole Scorpio thing. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, Scorpio could still be the dark horse of this Destiny 2 thing. This is prior to all the knowledge we got this week, right? Because I'm like, boom, they can get 4K 60. Boom, they could use their own in-house Azure cloud, you know what I'm saying? To say, hey, we can host it on us. Because if you remember, was it Sovereign, quote me on this, wasn't COD Ghosts, that was when Microsoft still had, that was like the last year I believe they still had the marketing rights, right? And they tried to promote that on the Xbox version it had dedicated servers. Do y'all remember that E3?
Yeah.
Okay.
They ended up calling
come to find out it was a lie. Lord,
they ended up calling it like hybrid servers or some shit like that.
Yes, it was some gaziness, some tomfoolery. But they at least, one thing I like that they tried to do was at least try to promote that, from a Microsoft feature standpoint, they can do that. So, me coming in, I'm like, okay, they got, Microsoft got some advantages that they can use, on their platform. And then to hear this, and I'm like, not even PC gets it. Like, that is greed. Let's call it what it is. Like, that's BS and greed. There's no excuse for that. I want to know how the Lord. I was very upset. Lordy Bontes, where was you at with that, with the dedicated service thing?
It was a huge letdown because, I mean, that's always the big excuse that everybody has for either lag or this, or they've got so many examples of people jumping around. It's like, and just to have that not be part of it and really get into the world of being competitive and have people just have more reliable situations to figure out, it's like there's no excuses of lag switching, and just stop the excuses, pay the money, have everybody just shut up and play the game. I was like, that would be one of the easiest ways to do it. And it's like, as you guys said, Activision is not broke. Bungie isn't even close to broke either. I was like, in between the two of them, they've already
they made mad money off of Destiny.
Well, of course they did. So it's like, I just don't, that's one of those, I guess I just don't understand. It's like, I don't know what it takes to do it. And I don't know if,
I
if you just had, like, just do them for, I don't know, Crucible dedicated service just makes too much sense. That is one I truly do not understand.
This is when they're not signing with Microsoft, comes back and bite them, because they could have brought used the cloud from Microsoft, and they would have had all the dedicated server and all the horsepower that they needed. It wouldn't be any lag. It would be a beautiful situation.
Lord King.
Yes.
Smooth. Think about, Halo. I mean, for all that
Halo's
multiplayer,
beautiful.
man.
It's beautiful.
It's solid,
beautiful.
bro. Like,
it rocks.
It just hurts to see that aspect.
I've played a lot of Halo, and I think I've only had like one or two incidents where I had lag, like at the entire time of playing it.
And we play big matches, that big board matches, and it sucks that they make the money, they have the money, and they refuse to put the money back into the game. All right, so I don't see the benefits in me doing these microtransactions, because it's not coming back to me. It's not feeding the community. It's feeding somebody, but it ain't feeding me. And that's why I said he brought a server. But just gonna tell you, man, I think this is the last one. This is the last multiplayer game that is on a competitive level that doesn't have dedicated servers, right?
Gotta be
there's a couple that don't.
There's a couple.
I think Battlefront doesn't either.
Yeah, that was my my only thing with that. I mean, just like I said, we got as the Lords, we got to keep it 1,000.
One of the issues I do have that it might be one of the only games that doesn't have dedicated service, but it is probably one of the games that is in the first person genre that desperately needs dedicated servers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, that's what I had on that aspect. I mean, obviously, like I said, it was a fun week with Destiny 2 on all levels, from the reveal to the to the controversy to everything. I just thought, honestly, as crazy it was, and some things did upset me, we have to admit it was a fun news week, like for Destiny. It was just every day you're finding out some new drama. That's right. So
it takes a lot to trigger me. If I make a video, it takes a lot to trigger me to make a YouTube video.
Shout out to Lord Anchorman in the chat. He said, Calvin, keep making that money. I'm good. Shout out to Calvin at Activision for holding that peer-to-peer down. That's right. You know what would be hot?
Leave that on peer-to-peer, baby.
Like, what would be hot? Let's talk to Microsoft and see if they'll go ahead and talk about dedicated servers and get everyone hyped, and then never give our consumers.
Shout out to Lord Anchor. He did challenge us with challenging with that. We had going back and forth, but we will always call out. Destiny's our favorite game, but we will always call Activision and Bungie for foolishness and stuff that isn't right.
Oh my God! Shut up, Sin.
Overall, we're very excited about the game. We can't wait to get it. So we're just gonna finish up soon, because I know we went over with. I know Destiny was gonna take a while, but we still got a little bit of time left. I know the Lord's got to get rolling soon. We kept everybody, but real quick, Lord King.
Yes.
Announcements. What's going on in these streets?
Oh man, so Netflix is at it again, baby. Netflix is trying to add to their onslaught of movies, shows. They have brought to us something that we've been asking for, and I know they're gonna do it right. The Witcher. They're gonna bring The Witcher. I think it gets 10 episodes. and they're trying to get it going like Game of Thrones. So it's going to be set in that type of atmosphere. And I want to know, is anybody excited about it? Because, Game of Thrones came out and it was a very, how can I say, in the corner type of a niche type of show at first. And it blew up horribly, crazy. And now everybody can't wait for the next season and start, and they're worrying about the dragons and stuff. And I want to know, is this going to be our Game of Thrones? Is this going to blow up? And do we feel that Netflix, is it in good hands with Netflix? The writers,
yes, it's in good hands. I can answer that right now.
Good
Until
Lord,
they show me a trash.
It's gonna be like think about the Iron Fist that just came out though. They didn't bat 1,000 there though.
Well, I must say this.
That is subjective.
You don't know what you just did.
I must say that you've walked on a landmine, my friend, and it's about to blow up. The fact that they wanted you to slow down and think a little bit. I know it's hard for some. And the character is very is a feeling character, so you had to feel for the character. Danny Rand is a very good character, and I thought they did it very did the show justice. It's not for most. Like some people didn't like Luke Cage.
Like Luke Cage. I've liked all of them so far. This one, I would say of all of Marvel's showings, I would not put it towards the top, if that's fair.
Can we at least admit that out of all these Marvel ones, they're all good? It's just some are better.
Yeah,
that was the lower end one.
Yeah. That's exactly what he said. He said that. I don't like Jessica Jones like that, and some people was like, "Oh, that's the best one."
I enjoyed
it.
I love Jessica
the villain in Jessica Jones.
It's the villain that makes it different.
Yeah, because y'all all sat there and said it would be great to have the Purple Man's power.
Because he was the greatest villain ever, in my opinion. Not to go too left. I love that power. I tell you what to do, and you got to do it.
Yes.
And it's not even the way it's not even his ability. It's how he uses it.
Right. Oh, yeah. We'll get into that. Continue.
But
let's get back to The Witcher before we get off.
Back to The Witcher.
Yeah, just how y'all feel about that. That's all. I mean, I thought it was amazing that one game that we thought no one was listening to is going to get done. So,
Lloyd Bonds, did you finish up real quick? Because I didn't know if you finished up.
Yeah, I was just going to basically say, like, I think the idea of it's really awesome. It was like too many people love The Witcher. The world is huge. My brother has dove into that world before, read all the books. So it's like the content is definitely there, which I don't even know that much about it, but to be able to learn about it in a Netflix show, honestly, I'm intrigued. Like, I didn't know too much about the whole world, but just the idea of what he's capable of, what he can do. I mean, it's definitely going to be on Netflix. So, I mean, you can throw clothes pretty much out the window.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've got the right platform for it. You just put it in the right hands. I think it can be done well. I've liked a lot of what Netflix has done. So, I mean, I think it's in good hands. I mean, House of Cards, lots of the Marvel stuff has been great, and as to varying degrees on some of their shows. But like, I think they've done very well with a lot of their proprietary content. So I'm very excited to see what they'll do.
Because I think the big thing that Netflix does that puts them apart from other people is they do really good casting for the most part.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing that it kind of I'm not 100% sure of, because they said they started production already, but then they never spoke about a cast, so they haven't necessarily said that it's live action. It could actually be an animation, which they haven't.
So?
Yeah, there was speculation that it could be
like
an animation.
Castlevania,
right, like Castlevania. So
and I mean, you guys might not be in animation, but I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, I'll be fine with that because I think Witcher works perfectly as kind of like a monster of the week type, like Serial, where every week is a different monster that he's hunting, and then there's this overarching story to Geralt. So yeah, I think if they do it as an animation, you can even get deeper into the lore without having to break the bank in terms of special effects and stuff like that.
But the biggest thing that they compared it to was the Game of Thrones.
If they put that much money into it, that would be something. I mean, they have the money to do it. So again, I just think it's interesting that they said they're in production. They didn't say pre-production; they said production, and there's been no talk of a cast or anything like that. So again,
I was like, I'm literally looking at an announcement. Rejoice! Netflix is making a live-action Witcher TV series.
Oh, they are.
There we go, baby.
Okay. There it is. There it is. Thank you.
But is that direct? Who is that directly from, though? the quote?
I mean, this is Paul Tassi on Forbes doing the report. So of all
Okay.
places,
Shout out
pretty
to
solid.
Tassi.
Okay, so it's
that's my
weird that
guy.
they would say that they're in production. I guess they're keeping it under wraps, because obviously everybody wants to know who's playing Geralt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's in good hands. I think they have that format, and it's perfect for it, because one criticism you have of a movie per se, if they would do a Witcher movie, is that you can't get into the depth of the character in the 2.5-hour movies. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
So something like this gives the character his just due, and gets to break down all the aspects of Geralt, and maybe even expand more upon what the game has done. Obviously, CD Projekt doesn't have anything to do with this. It's more the author of the books.
This is going off the books, right?
Yeah.
That's what my understanding.
Right, going off the books.
Yeah,
So
but
again,
I will say Netflix they're the kind of people that they will ask them for input.
well, they said they'd be happy to, but they didn't necessarily say they would, or they've been invited to.
Gotcha.
I don't think CD Projekt has the best relationship with the author, because he's pissed off that he sold them the rights.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
He hasn't made anything off the games because he sold
I
them the
mean,
rights.
to be honest, if it's the author, is it him that's working with Netflix, or
That's what it
Netflix?
sounds like.
I
He's
mean,
consulting. He's consulting.
they can make a good game, but let's be real here. For a narrative TV show, it's best to the person who wrote it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the source material. Yeah. I mean, look, so you good on that? Because I was going to jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you took pretty much every point I was going to say. Yeah. I think it's the perfect medium. I mean, I mean, let's be honest. Comic book, video game movies, not comic book movies, but video game movies particularly, definitely doesn't have the greatest history, right?
Yeah.
And generally don't translate well to the big screen, because you have that one shot if the production's not good. And to me, it's like, one thing about this series is like you really can get character development. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that, when I watch those Netflix series, and you watch a Daredevil and these things, and it's just like having that episodic format is just so, to me, advantageous to it, and you get to build that character and get you excited about that. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's something that has potential. Once I heard it was going that route, Netflix is on a roll, as we all know. All their shows, for the most part, have been knocking it out the park, and it's actually been handled by a whole bunch of different teams, if I understand. It's not like there's just one specific team that, doing all their series kind of thing. So they're bankrolling. I think it's a good look. So I'm curious. I think this could break the streak, for video games. In a positive way. So,
yes, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's good. But
I mean, I think the same idea, just the fact that, as you're saying, Netflix is the right platform for some of these, because it's hard to tell a video game, which is usually going to take, any narrative is going to take 6-7 hours, and you could probably delve more into it. Think about doing a Division series on Netflix.
Oh my God!
Like, now you're back on King's good side. Now you're doing
it was like just the idea of what you could do. Like, I don't know, just Netflix is a very unique platform, and just the idea of the binge, but the multiple episodes. Same way Daredevil. The first time I watched that series, like, you dive deep, and some people may not like how far you get into the characters, but that's the nuance of watching some of those things, is you get the little stuff.
Yeah.
No, I was like, I'd be pretty excited. I'd look forward to it. I have no idea. We're probably going to see it in about 7 years, but whenever it happens, I'm kind of excited. So.
To Abantus's point, to just the fact that these things are going to be living on Netflix forever, as long as Netflix is a service, it brings people that might not otherwise be attracted to these properties. It gives them the opportunity to, whatever, one day they're just hanging out in their house and put on Netflix, and they think, well, oh, what's this Witcher thing? And then all of a sudden they're invested in this what we consider to be a bit, obviously it's from the books, but what we consider to be a video game world. And you start bringing people in that might not otherwise have any type of affiliation to these sorts of properties. It's just a quick story. Like my sister recently purchased a whole bunch of Super Mario Brothers stuff for my 4-year-old nephew and my niece, and I'm like, where did they get all this love for Super Mario? Because he doesn't really play Nintendo. My niece kind of plays, her 3DS and whatever. They've been watching the Super Mario Brothers Super Show on Netflix.
Stop.
Yep.
They've been watching Captain Lou Albano, the stuff we watched when we were kids, and this is where all this Super Mario love comes from. Now they want everything Super Mario. So again, and that's because it just lives there on Netflix. So I mean, if you could do that with The Witcher, that somebody 3 years down the line watches it and falls in love with The Witcher, that's a positive thing.
Yep.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's what we got on it. I think my king is just. I'm excited, man. So we shall see. We're gonna try to wrap this thing up. It was a very intense show. Shout out to Lord Inferno. I know you had the internet thing. He was struggling. We were happy to get him for at least that hour because he was in the remote location. And he had to get that fake Comcast, whatever he was calling it, cast ISP he was dealing with. But I felt his pain. But shout out to Lord Inferno. Shout out 4Games, guys with quarters. Those guys are doing good things. And shout out to TXR. Them boys put in work, and we're gonna definitely have you back. And it's always a pleasure to get you guys on and talk some gaming. So we are going to do our outros, and I'm going to pass it off to the co-host with the co-most, Lord Attic. You've got a lot of controversial topics going on in them spotlights. Tell me what's going on,
you guys. So if you don't follow him on YouTube, definitely go over there and do that. Follow me on Twitter. Follow everyone on Twitter. It's all in the description. Tomorrow I'm going to be having a Destiny Addict Spotlight. We're going to be talking more detail. Pretty much what you saw here. It's just, I try to stay away from the topics that we have on Iron Lords podcast. The next day I'm having my Addict show on the PlayStation conference. I'm having it with Jack Mujani from Weapon Wheel and Nicodemus from Fame Entertainment podcast.
I know those boys, yeah.
And day after that, I'm gonna have a Fable Addict Spotlight. We're gonna, I'm having that with Mamacita from Fame, and I'm having it with Cal from the Inner Circle. So definitely go and check those out. They're all live. I just want to have a couple shout outs. As much as Anchorman V gets on my damn nerves, the dude's always been 100% with us. He definitely helps us with the podcast. I do want to thank Ant. He's in that comment section every Iron Lords podcast. I see him there all the time. We do have our speculations too, and we go at it sometimes, especially over Halo Wars 2, but we won't go into that. I want to thank all of you for being in the comments and really getting that conversation, keeping people in this chat. Being very interactive with the chat. We all appreciate that. Definitely follow all of these people on Twitter. I want to thank. I want to personally thank Inferno for coming on the podcast.
Absolutely,
he definitely fit really good in with the flow of the Iron Lords podcast. Definitely check out TXR and check out his podcast. You both solid podcasts, and definitely check out my Addict shows coming up this week. Thank you guys for watching.
No doubt, Lord Ibantis.
Yes, sir.
People find you, and always a pleasure to have the fam, as you are family. You might as well have like a semi-permanent seat at the round table. Let's call it.
I've got my chair that I put on my chair. I pull it from the other side of the room and be like, all right, I'm here. No, but I thank you guys for always getting the invites. I appreciate it. Just always be part. The conversation's fun. I tend to sit back a little bit, let you guys hash it out, and then try and throw my 2 cents in, whether it's a mic drop or not. Never quite know. But always, you guys can check me on Twitter. On Twitch, been streaming a lot more, quite a bit actually. So got my affiliate status pretty recently. So that's just been kind of cool.
My man.
Got a few bits. Honestly, it's like just those moments where people I was doing the Destiny stream and just analyzing it and going over bits and pieces. And by the time I got done with the stream, gave me a nice little cheer and donation. Just that little stuff blows me away. So it's just it's always awesome to support. And you guys have been great in that too. So I thank you guys for just any time to jump on here and just shoot it up with you. It's great topics every time. And so, yeah, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Ebontis, every place, EBONTIS. And thank you guys. Hats off to the Iron Lords, to Inferno for jumping in, and everybody in here. Always an awesome group of guys. And in the end, we love games and we love having a good time. So we're just going to keep up that.
Absolutely. We love you, bro. And of course, Lord Sovereign Non-Incognito himself. Where can find you?
People can find me on Xbox Live at BX Sovereign, PSN BX Sovereign, one word, and on Twitter at Lord Sov ILP.
No doubt. And Lord King, beloved premium gamer, who was in rare form today. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Xbox Live, Twitter, and Instagram. The Real King David and King David OTW. I love the podcast every week. I like to say thank you for everybody that's in the chat. Once I, work out the kinks with my laptop, I'll be back in the chat with you guys, jumping around in there. Lord Inferno, thank you for showing up. Ebontis is fantastic. I couldn't wait for this week for you specifically because of Destiny 2, and I know like you're a super fan. Soloing any raid, any nightfall, my man, you have much respect from me. I need a team, and I don't even think about doing it by myself. So I just like to say thank everyone for showing up, for sticking around, and for contributing to the subscribers. We are over 105 strong.
Oh yeah, shout out to the king. Yeah, in a very short time. Thank you for saying that. Shout out for that.
Yes.
That's important. We appreciate that, man. That was big. Especially the last one. Shout out Lord J Barry and that big time. And Lord Cognito here. You guys know where you can find me. It's all in the description. All that good stuff. Go ahead, Lord. You about to say something?
I was gonna say, you know where else you can find Lord King? On his phone on Amazon.
Copping everything, them damn statues. But also, like I said, man, shout out to everybody in the chat. Like, love, tremendous, and keep supporting us. Like I said, these E3 prediction series. We got one more coming up. We got some surprises for you next week. I'm really excited about that as well. And we're gonna close this thing out. And like I said, E3's coming soon. And the Lord's got some stuff cooking as well. We're still the best podcast you've never heard. And we continue and appreciate all the support. And on that note, we are out. Peace.